Good evening and welcome to the historic Tomato Bowl for senior night as your Jacksonville Fighting Indians take on the visiting Mount Pleasant Tigers. Welcome to our countdown to kickoff. I'm Ryan Travis, joined by Todd Travis, and we have special guest JHS girls soccer and cross country coach Roy Alvarez joining us tonight. Roy, we're very excited to talk to you about some soccer tonight, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I want to start off, first of all, congratulations on your promotion to head coach. You've been the assistant coach for the girls team the past several years, and I've heard that you bring a positive energy to the classroom, the hallways, and the field. So what made you want to be a coach?
So I became a coach because I've always seen the game differently, and I wanted to take that deeper understanding of the game and really put my knowledge to the test. So not only as a player, but also as someone who can guide and develop others.
Okay. That's awesome. It's really good to hear. I mean, I know you've been around the game for a long time. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But it's always interesting to see, like, who decides, I want to be a coach, and then who may decide, I don't want to be a coach. And it takes a special person to come and spend as much time as you do, not only during the school day, but after the school day and traveling for tournaments and stuff.
Yes,
and so,
sir.
I mean, we applaud you for all the extra time that you spend doing being a coach.
Yes,
So talking about extra time outside of soccer, you're also the girls' cross-country coach. Cross-country season is coming to a close. How has this season been for your runners?
So unfortunately, our season came to an end on Tuesday. We placed 16th at regionals at Grand Prairie, and but despite that, it was a good season, and I'm proud of the girls and what they accomplished this season. We did have, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 girls that PR'd at the district or the regional meet, and so it was a good season. But once you get to regionals, it's a different level, and so we competed, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. So.
Do you know how many girls competed at the regional meet?
I'm going to say over 100 for sure.
Wow.
Over
okay.
100.
Well, that's great.
Wow. How many of the cross-country runners are also soccer players for you?
Oh, probably all of them except 3.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you spend a lot of time with those girls as well.
Yes.
So you spend double time with
Yes.
a large group of them. So Roy, I know you played lots of soccer growing up. You've been around the game for a long time. So how have you seen the game change from your time as a player to now your time as a coach?
So, in my opinion, the game has become a lot more technical and strategic over the years, and I think it's because of you have more kids playing at the club level, and so that right there is raising the overall competition of the game. So,
Absolutely. Do you know how many girls you have playing club soccer outside of just high school stuff?
I want to say 4.
Okay.
4 out of the whole team, or 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. I know Lauren and Jewel and Ramsey all play on the same club team.
Yes,
So-
and that's only the ones that I'm mentioning is only the varsity. I'm sure the freshmen that are coming in, there are some that are playing at the club level as well, but I'm not familiar which clubs are
Yeah.
with them yet. So, but yes,
Okay. That's good. Good to hear.
The last several years have been historic for the girls' soccer program with 4 straight undefeated district championships and back-to-back regional semifinal appearances. It's easy to look at the stats and see this team is successful, but there's a lot more to the game than just wins and losses. How do you measure success, both in training and in the games?
so for me, it's going to be by the effort and the attitude of the team. So the questions that I ask is: did we work hard in training? Did we apply what we practice in games? And are we learning from our mistakes? So I try to encourage the girls to focus on the things that they can control, because success isn't always winning. And so for me, it's going to be about growth and improvement, and that's what we focus on.
I know this is your first year as head coach, and you haven't made it to the season yet. But is it kind of right now, trying to fit the pieces together and find out who kind of fits where in the formation that you're wanting to run, or?
For sure. Luckily, we have a pretty strong core group and a lot of returners, and so the new girls that are coming in, where there's not really a lot of missing spots, but I'm trying to see which girls are ready to move to the varsity level, and that right there it's going to be a difficult one because we do have a a big group of freshmen coming in.
Oh, well, that's really good to hear. It's always good to have a big group of freshmen.
Yes.
You know, that gives you a lot more options too,
For
and,
sure.
and definitely helps like give the JV some subs. Because I know there's been some years past where you get to the JV and you may have like 2 subs.
Yes.
That's not great if you have some injuries in there, and so definitely having a big freshman class helps with that. So you did graduate a few key players last season. 2 that I can think of are Victoria Villanueva up top and Landry Harmel on defense, and they've been a big part of this team for the last couple seasons. So what new faces can we expect to see this year?
So luckily we don't need to add much, and we have key returning players like as far as on the attacking end, we got Lauren Wade, Joel McCullough, Jackie Badillo, Sophia Romero, and so again, the core group is strong, and any new additions that we're going to add to this team have to really step up to the level that these girls that have been here are at, and we're trying to have that internal competition, so that way we're able to compete in this new district. So I'm still trying to evaluate, who's going to move up to that, to fill in those varsity spots. But one name that I could for sure mention is Bella Compian, and I've had her in cross country, and she's shown me that. Through her work in cross country, she's shown me that she has a real desire to train hard, and she's ready to compete. I think she'll be a good, solid option for us, either at defense or in the midfield.
That's good to see. I know I've seen Bella play a little bit through the middle school stuff, and I mean she's a really good player, and she'll be a good addition to the team
For sure.
I do have one other question, because Sophia Romero last year was a freshman, and I felt like she was like a big bright spot as an addition to the varsity last year. So I know we kind of moved her around to some different positions last year. I mean, y'all moved girls all over the place last year because some of the games got out of hand, and so it was like, well, let's try them up top. Let's maybe move them back to defense and move some girls around. So are we going to see – I know you're moving to 5A this year. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But are you going to – potentially move some girls around as much, and are you going to kind of have Sophia and Lauren in the midfield to work together, because that seemed to be pretty good last year?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. Still keeping Lauren Wade in the midfield, and one thing that it's hard to replace is her work rate.
Yeah,
she's
sure.
all over the place. But for this season, our goal is to get her in front of goal as much as possible, because she does have that ability to score, and she sometimes makes it look very easy, and she's really good with her right, her left, and she can header. So a player like that you would want to put in front of goal.
Yeah, and you want to get her as many touches as you can in the game for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Jacksonville's back in 5A this season with a new district of Nacogdoches, White House, Mount Pleasant, Lufkin, Tyler High, Texas High, Marshall, and Hallsville. Who do you see being the biggest challenge for you this season?
I think every team in our district will be a challenge. We've had this talk with the girls in the locker room. I told them that any team can beat us in this district if we don't show up hungry and if we're not prepared. So last year with Hallsville, we tied. Same with White House, and we lost to Mount Pleasant. And so, those teams are in our district, and I feel like they can definitely beat us if we're not prepared. My first year as the assistant, we were knocked out by Mount Pleasant in the first round, and that one, still hurts. And so this season we're going to focus on some different results against them. So it'll definitely be a challenge.
And the district as a whole is going to be a lot more competitive than what we've had the past 2 years as well. Because there were some smaller 3A schools that were coming into our district for soccer. And, they don't have quite as many girls to pull from. I mean, a lot of them have pretty young just soccer programs in general.
Yes.
There's a couple that have only been started the last few years. So you're going to see, a lot more seasoned soccer programs this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There are going to be a lot of competitive games for sure.
I really think that'll help prepare us for the playoffs. If every game's competitive, we're not having those
20 to nothing
games where
games
we're
like we
scoring
had the
20.
last year.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
I think we'll be in better shape when we get to the playoffs.
I agree.
So soccer is the most popular sport in the world. It challenges players both physically and mentally. Unlike the football game we're about to see tonight, you're not sending in a play call. There's no timeouts, and players must constantly make decisions in the flow of the game. So tell us a little bit about your coaching philosophy, and are there any coaches that you take some inspiration from?
Yes, sir. So I try to coach in a way that makes the girls want to give it their all, both in training and in games. but most importantly, I want them to enjoy what they're doing. I like creating a fun environment without losing the focus of being productive. And then as far as inspiration, Pep Guardiola is one because of the passion that he brings to his players. And then the other one would be Carlo Ancelotti for the strong relationship that he builds with his players.
Okay.
And so I think he's mentioned in an interview once where he calls them his friends. And so I think that's very important because you're able to get the best out of everybody. And when you do have to criticize or correct behavior, they don't take it personal, and they actually try to fix it rather than take offense to it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's definitely good for them to be able to take some criticism and
sure.
and grow from that as well. I mean, you don't always see that, especially if the coaches are really harsh or something on the girls. So I mean, that's really good to hear that that's your outlook. And I mean, it sounds like you got the right things going.
I sure do hope so.
We kind of talked about it a moment ago. Will we see any tactical changes this season with the move back to 5A? I know we kind of mentioned it a minute ago. It's going to be a lot more competitive this year, just game to game to game throughout district. Are we going to see any kind of tactical changes?
So this year we are planning to change the formation.
Okay.
That, in my opinion, will maximize our players' strengths and individual abilities. And I don't want to give too much away, but we'll definitely remain an attack-minded team going forward. But out of the back, I do plan on being a little more composed because there was times last season where, because we had the ball so much up top, when we had those moments where we were being, where we had to play defense, it looked kind of sloppy. And so, just trying to, understand that we can be calm and composed back there rather than, than just kicking the ball out or just being nervous.
Yeah. That sounds great. There were a lot of times last year where we get the ball on defense and we're not in any hurry, and we're playing it long downfield and may end up losing it.
For sure.
That's going to be, especially when you're playing some tougher teams that defend well and or have a really good back line and are really dropping guys back. Because we saw, I think it was maybe Hallsville last year that was defending with 11. I know Salina was for sure. So you're going to see some teams like that, week to week in district this year. And it's if you can build out of the back and stay composed, like you mentioned, I think that'll be great.
For sure. No, I agree.
So we had pretty great attendance for high school soccer games last year for both boys and girls teams. When does your season start, and why should someone who may not be a soccer fan come watch a game in the historic Tomato Bowl this season?
So our first scrimmages will be on December 14th. We'll start here with 2 scrimmages against Tyler Legacy and Bullard.
Okay.
And, if you enjoy watching a team that is going to put on a show for the fans and, tries to score plenty of goals, come out and support. And, it's going to be cold, so bring your jacket. And I would say the fans play a part in the game as well. And so the more people we can get out here to just put pressure on the other team, that's something that we would want because, we wouldn't want just anybody coming into the Tomato Bowl and leaving with the win, right? So we want to make it almost impossible for them to
It always helps to encourage boys, girls, either one, just the athletes that are involved.
For sure.
So to have a good crowd and be cheering for them always helps.
And it creates an atmosphere and a home field advantage as well. So I don't know, can you bring horns to high school games like vuvuzelas or something?
Might be prohibited. You may want to ask Coach Kingery on that.
That may be something we should find out before we just encourage people to bring it.
Yes.
All right. Well, Roy, thank you for joining us and sharing about a little bit about the upcoming girls soccer season. We're really excited to cover those games once again this season on JISD Live and wish you guys the best of luck this year.
No, thank you for having me, and I do appreciate what y'all do. This is awesome. I do go back and I watch it when I'm at home, and whether it's football or basketball, you guys are doing a good job. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. All right, fans. Well, it's almost time to get the senior night festivities underway, so stick with us while we take a short break to move into the booth, and we will be right back.
We'd like to thank this week's team meal sponsor, the East Rusk Dairy Queen across from the Tomato Bowl. Thank you for your valued support of Jacksonville Athletics.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-0741.
Since 1953, Hubert Glass Oil has been servicing the Texas market with the finest quality fuels and lubricants. Each batch is crafted with precision and quality tested by our in-house lab. Whether you're on the road, on the farm, or on the job, we have the right product for your needs.
The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich is delicious. It's got that barbecue flavor, the cheese melts on top with that Texas toast. You look at it, your mouth starts watering. It's my go-to sandwich. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich, that's my all-time favorite.
I'm Matt Montgomery. For over 40 years, my business has helped people manage their money and organize their financial life. I'm a registered investment advisor with the state of Texas and chartered financial consultant. Whether you need portfolio management or comprehensive financial planning, I can help you. Call me for a free consultation.
Gene Bromlow, class of '66, and his daughter Ann Farmer proudly support Jacksonville athletics. Come on over to the South Jackson Dairy Queen and get one of their world-famous blizzards. Dairy Queen, where happy tastes good.
Tonight's game statistics are sponsored by Randy Gorham, CPA. Randy Gorham, CPA, the source for your accounting and income tax needs since 1984. Since 2004, Legends Old Time Burger Cafe has been the home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburgers. Hand-battered chicken strips, chicken fried steak, fries, and onion rings are the best around. Legends, home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburger.
For the first day of school, for the last day of work, for the satisfaction of a job well done, for the ideas that change the world, for good times, for not so good times. For her future and hers and his. For serving our customers and connecting communities. We're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Dr. Darwin Dar and his staff at Dar Chiropractic specialize in family chiropractic care, exercise rehab, digital x-rays, nutrition and weight loss programs, decompression, and chiropractic wellness care. Located down the street from the Tomato Bowl, Dar Chiropractic. They can help you feel better.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Passing the competition by leaps and bounds. The team of world-class specialists at Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute are experts in caring for bones, joints, and muscles. In addition to treatment, they also provide special programs designed to keep you in optimal shape and improve athletic performance. So whether you're a student athlete or a weekend warrior, they'll keep you at the top of your game. Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, taking orthopedic care a step further.
We'd like to thank this week's team meal sponsor, the East Rusk Dairy Queen across from the Tomato Bowl. Thank you for your valued support of Jacksonville athletics.
For the first day of school, for the last day of work, for the satisfaction of a job well done, for the ideas that change the world, for good times, for not so good times, for her future and hers and his. For serving our customers and connecting communities, we're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Since 2004, Legends Old Time Burger Cafe has been the home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburgers. Hand-battered chicken strips, chicken fried steak, fries, and onion rings are the best around. Legends, home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburger.
That 100% beef Whataburger takes 2 hands and all of your attention. So yeah, now's the time to sneak that fry. Good thing there's plenty to savor. Good thing there's Whataburger.
7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next we have Jolene Carney. Jolene is being escorted by Maria and Pete Carney. Jolene is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. You're in 7th grade? Next we have Jesus Carrillo. Jesus is being escorted by his mother, Patricia Perez. Jesus is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Adelie Cornelio. Adelie is being escorted by her mother, Naomi Cornelio, and her father, Mario Cornelio. Adelie is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Joshua Dorman. Josh is being escorted by his mother, Shannon Dorman, and his father, James Dorman. Josh is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Dylan Dosser. Dylan is being escorted by his mother, Hillary Dosser, and his father, Paul Dosser. Dylan is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Logan Fontenot. Logan is being escorted by his mother, Nicole Fontenot, and her father, Ted Fontenot. Logan is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Anthony Gallegos. Anthony is being escorted by his mother, Maria Gallegos, and his father, Alejandro Gallegos. Anthony is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Angeles Grimaldo. Angeles is being escorted by her mother, Maria Grimaldo, and her father, Fabian Grimaldo. Angeles is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Trent Hall. Trent is being escorted by his mother, Alicia Hall, and his father, Charles Hall. Trent is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Bailey Hart. Bailey is being escorted by her mother, Emily Hart, and her father, Cody Hart. Bailey is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Boston Helm. Boston is being escorted by his mother, Angela Helm, and his father, Eric Helm. Boston is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Jemiah Hall. Jemiah is being escorted by her mother, Angela Hall, and her father, Roy Hall. Jemiah is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Kaylin Kinder. Kaylin is being escorted by her father, Thomas Kinder, and her brother, Brendan Kinder. Kaylin is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Tomas Luna. Tomas is being escorted by his mother, Maggie Luna, and his father, Tomas Luna Sr. Tomas is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Salvador Mojica. Salvador is being escorted by his mother, Dulce Rodriguez, and his father, Salvador Mojica Sr. Salvador is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Adriana Munoz. Adriana is being escorted by her stepfather, Arturo Contreras. Adriana is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Bracia Padron. Bracia is being escorted by her mother, Maria Padron, and her father, Dioncio Padron. Bracia is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Kathleen Perez. Kathleen is being escorted by her mother, Camelia Garcia, and her father, Juan Carlos Perez. Kathleen is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Felix Perez. Felix is being escorted by his mother, Myra Perez, and his father, Felix Perez Sr. Felix is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band.
Seat check. Have you never heard of seat check?
Next up, we have Hario Perez. Hario is being escorted by his mother, Catalina Tavera, and his father, Rosendo Perez Sanchez. Hario is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Jonathan Perez. Jonathan is being escorted by his mother, Anna Perez, and his father, Magdaleno Perez. Jonathan is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Yanli Rincon. Yanli is being escorted by her mother, Adriana Rincon, and her father, Efren Rincon. Yanli is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Dulce Rodriguez. Dulce is being escorted by her mother, Rodriguez, and her sister, Maria Rodriguez. Dulce is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Jocelyn Rodriguez. Jocelyn is being escorted by her mother, Emma Garcia, and her father, Jaime Rodriguez. Jocelyn is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Emmanuel Rosales. Emmanuel is being escorted by his mother, Laura Rosales, and his father, Juan Rosales. Emmanuel is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Juliana Salazar. Juliana is being escorted by her mother, Maria Ana Salazar, and her father, Martin Salazar. Juliana is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Michelle Salazar. Michelle is being escorted by her mother, Josefina Salazar, and her father, Manuel Salazar. Michelle is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up, we have Nolan Servine. Nolan is being escorted by his mother, Maria Servine, and his father, Israel Servine. Nolan is a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Jessica Sims. Jessica is being escorted by her mother, Jamie Sims, and her father, Billy Sims. Jessica is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up is Yesenia Solis. Yesenia is being escorted by her mother, Yesenia Alvarado, and her father, Joshua Alvarado. Yesenia is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. Next up we have Alyssa Wright. Alyssa is being escorted by her mother, Mary Wright, and her father, Shane Wright. Alyssa is also a 7-year member of the Fighting Indian Band. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 senior cheerleaders. Our first senior cheerleader is Miss Brylan Bateman. Brylan is being escorted by her mother, Crystal Bateman, and her father, Jared Bateman. Brylan is a 4-year member of the Jacksonville High School Cheer Squad. Next up, we have Kaylee Boyd. Kaylee is being escorted by her mother, Ann Boyd, and her father, Mark Boyd. Kaylee is a 4-year member of the JHS Cheer Squad. Next up is Miss Diana Garcia. Diana is being escorted by her mother, Erica Garcia, and her father, Eloy Garcia. Diana is also a 4-year member of the JHS Cheer Squad. Next up is Miss Jocelyn Garcia. Jocelyn is being escorted by her mother, Jessica Mendoza, and her father, Robert Garcia. Jocelyn is also a 4-year member of the JHS Cheer Squad. Next up, we have Miss Sarah McCoy. Sarah is being escorted by her mother, Kaylee Wyatt, and her stepfather, Stephen Wyatt. Sarah is also a 4-year member of the JHS Cheer Squad. Next up, we have Kaylee Tarrant. Kaylee is being escorted by her mother, Andrea Russell, and her father, Michael Jack Tarrant. Kaylee is also a 4-year member of the Jacksonville High School Cheer Squad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 senior flag runner, Edgar Moreira. Edgar is being escorted by his mother, Brenda Moreira, and his father, Edgar Moreira. Edgar has been a flag runner for 1 year. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your 2025 Senior Cherokee Charmers. Our first senior charmer is Miss Sierra Blake. Sierra is being escorted by her mother, Veronica Blake, and her uncle, Arthur Runnels. Sierra is a 3-year member of the Cherokee Charmers. Our next senior charmer is Miss Andrea Hernandez. Andrea is being escorted by her mother, Maria Marquez, and her sister, Alejandra Hernandez. Andrea is a 4-year member of the Cherokee Charmers. Next up is Miss Myra Hernandez. Myra is being escorted by her mother, Martina Hernandez, and her father, Juan Hernandez. Myra is a 2-year member of the Cherokee Charmers. And our final senior Cherokee charmer is Miss Hazel Modesto. Hazel is being escorted by her mother, Martha Remigio, and her brother Remy Garcia. Hazel is a 4-year member of the Cherokee Charmers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your 2025 Senior Charmer Escorts. Our first escort is Mr. Victor Mendoza Sanchez. Victor is being escorted by his mother, Leticia Sanchez, and his sister, Jasmine Sanchez. Victor has been a Charmer escort for the past 3 seasons. And our final Senior Charmer escort is Mr. Danny Ramirez. Danny is being escorted by his mother, Marissa Ramirez, and his father, Alejandro Ramirez. Danny has been a Charmer escort for 1 year. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your 2025 senior members of yearbook and newspaper. First up, we have Aurelius Castillo. Aurelius is being escorted by her mother, Ana Castillo, and her father, Javier Castillo. Aurelius has been in yearbook for the past 2 years. Next up is Miss Essence Lovelace. Essence is being escorted by her mother, Valencia Daniels, and grandmother, Christina Santiago. Essence has been in newspaper for the past 3 years. Next up, we have Miss Jocelyn Mascaro. Jocelyn is being escorted by her mother, Sandra Salas, and her siblings. Jocelyn has been in newspaper for 3 years. Next up, we have Sanaya Montgomery. Sanaya is being escorted by her favorite teacher, Miss Henderson. Sanaya has been in yearbook for the past 4 years. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 senior athletic trainers. First up is Miss Chastity Crockett. Chastity is being escorted by her mother, Cynthia Guerra, and her father, Javier Rangel. Chastity has been an athletic trainer for 1 year. Next up, we have Maya White. Maya is being escorted by her mother, Victoria White, and her father, Roderick Anderson. Maya has been an athletic trainer for 2 years. And now, your 2025 senior members of the cross-country teams. First up is Sebastian Juarez. Sebastian is his mother, Monica Juarez, and his grandmother, Martha Juarez. Sebastian is a 4-year member of the JHS cross-country team. Next up is Cole Killingsworth. Cole is being escorted by his mother, Beth Killingsworth, and his father, Mike Killingsworth. Cole is a 3-year member of the JHS cross-country team. Next up is Jewel McCullough. Jewel is being escorted by her mother, Jeanne McCullough, and her father, Brett McCullough. Jewel is a 6-year member of the JHS cross-country team. Next up is Ilario Ochoa. Ilario is being escorted by his mother, Sylvia Godinez, and his father, Ilario Ochoa. Ilario is a one-year member of the JHS cross-country team. Next up is Mr. Jack Torres. Jack is being escorted by his mother, Isabel Torres, and his father, Joel Torres. Jack is a 4-year member of the JHS cross-country team.
Sorry.
And finally, your 2025 Senior Fighting Indians. First up is number 2, Didi Morris. Didi is being escorted by his mother, Alyssa Perez, and his stepfather, Manuel Perez. Didi is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 4, Brendan Richards. Brendan is being escorted by his sister, Brianna Richards, and his godmother, Angela Davis. Brendan is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 5, Damian Diaz. Damian is being escorted by his mother, Gloria Ibarra. Damian is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 6, Jerkeelan Goodwin. Jerkeelan is being escorted by his sister, Zakia Johnson, and his girlfriend, Jakia Irwin. Jerkeelan is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 7, Dante Simmons. Dante is being escorted by his mother, Becky Simmons, and his father, Anthony Simmons. Dante is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 8, Drew Dials. Drew is being escorted by his mother, Dana Kennedy, and his brother, Dre Dials. Drew is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 9, Jordan Taylor. Jordan is being escorted by his mother, Candace Taylor, and his father, Kevin Taylor. Jordan is a 4-year member of the JHS football program.
Oh my God. Gotcha. Oh my gosh.
Next up, we have number 11, Joshua Gaskin. Josh is being escorted by his mother, Monica Gaskin, and his father, Charles Gaskin. Josh is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up, we have number 14, Elijah Harris. Elijah is being escorted by Miss Dawn Bauer and Lamont Butler.
I don't have another phone.
Again, we have number 11, Josh Gaskin. Josh is being escorted by his mother, Monica Gaskin, and his father, Charles Gaskin. Josh is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Now, next up, we have number 14, Elijah Harris. Elijah is being escorted by Miss Dawn Bauer and Lamont Butler. Elijah is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up, we have number 15, Jared Holman. Jared is being escorted by his mother, J.J. Holman, and his father, head coach Jason Holman. Jared is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up, we have number 16, Jordan Dorsey. Jordan is being escorted by his mother, Shaniqua Red Dorsey, and his father, Stephen Dorsey. Jordan is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 30, Michael Miles. Michael is being escorted by his mother, Tina Martinez, and his father, Danny Miles. Mike is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 55, Michael Taylor. Michael is being escorted by his grandmother, Rebecca Taylor, and his father, Christopher Taylor. Michael is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 62, Giovanni Rangel. Giovanni is being escorted by his mother, Margaret Rios, and his father, Carlos Rangel. Giovanni is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 64, Jamario Coleman. Jamario is being escorted by his mother, Pam Ellis, and his aunt, Patricia Henderson. Jamario is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 74, Luis Mancera. Luis is being escorted by his mother, Christina Mancera, and his father, Augustine Mancera. Luis is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Next up is number 85, Ty Lindsay. Ty is being escorted by his mother, Shantae Lindsay, and his father, Michael Lindsay. Ty is also a 4-year member of the JHS football program. And our final Fighting Indian senior is number 88, Zeke Whitaker. Zeke is being escorted by his mother, Brandolyn Anderson, and his father, Christopher Anderson. Zeke is a 4-year member of the JHS football program. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating all seniors represented here tonight. Please enjoy the game.
Thank you for joining us here tonight on JISD Live. It's senior night in the historic Tomato Bowl. We just wrapped up senior night festivities. Congratulations to all of the seniors. And speaking of seniors, let's go ahead and take a look at our spotlight player of the game for this week, Drew Dials. Now, Drew is a senior quarterback and defensive back for this Indians team, and he has shown some resilience in the face of adversity. Drew's had multiple injuries throughout his years playing football here at Jacksonville High School, one of which he sustained in the first game of the season that very well could have been season-ending. He's shown great determination, and we're very proud of Drew for the positive attitude he's had through adversity. And we're excited he's back on the field getting to finish out his senior season. Drew had limited reps last week in his first game back after a broken collarbone, but we should see much more of him tonight as he can be a weapon for this Jacksonville offense both on the ground and through the air. So make sure to keep an eye out for number 8, Drew Dials, tonight on both sides of the ball. And now let's send it over to hear from head coach Jason Holman on this week's Inside the Huddle, brought to you by All Smiles Dentistry.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Time to go inside the huddle with head football coach Jason Holman. Coach, last week, Marshall, probably the best football team that you played this year. They showed it. But, man, the first half, it's middle of the second quarter, maybe less than that. You're only down 7-0. Kids played really good defense in the first half last week.
Yeah, I was very proud of our effort defensively. Really throughout the entire night. We gave up some big plays in the passing game that shouldn't have happened. But just the physical nature that we knew that they were going to play with, and how physical we had to play to be able to stop it. I thought our kids did a really good job stopping their run attack, which was probably the best we've seen all year.
Yeah, they come into the ball game and they're averaging less than 400 yards, just less than 400 yards a game. You held them to less than 150, and your defense created 3 turnovers for the ball game. Offense moved the ball. It just seemed like it was between the 30s. And You just couldn't get any deeper.
Yeah, couldn't manage to get in the end zone, and obviously if you can't score, then it's very difficult to win a football game. But yeah, we had some issues up front with some blown assignments. We had some sickness and some people that were out that could have helped us, shore some things up had they been there. But at the end of the day, just not being able to contribute with any points to get us back into the game.
Let's look at the highlights. Jacksonville versus Marshall. Here's Brendan with a nice pass breakup. He had a great game, did Brendan?
He had a good night. Good job there breaking it up. Almost had an interception there.
Here's Marshall trying to hide that little running back in Jordan and Michael. They weren't fooled.
It was a great job sniffing that out.
Here's Brendan. Another great play here. This time he gets the pick.
Really good break, slips in front, steals the ball. Big turnover for us right there on the positive end of the field.
What a play by Mike here. Forcing the fumble, and he also gets the recovery.
Yeah, good job stripping the ball there and was headsy enough to fall on it.
Here's one of your bigger offensive plays of the night. Trent hits Cam for 25.
Yeah, they weren't honoring our tight ends very well, and, Trent did a good job of getting the ball to Cam in open field.
Comes Diddy with a 15-yard run. Cam, Luis, Josh, and Brendan get some good blocks.
Yeah, some really good blocks out there on the perimeter, as well as the lineman pulling up inside.
Here's our dark chiropractic big hit of the game, Jaqueline. Good one. Just cleans him up right here.
Yeah, Jaqueline started for us for the first time this year, and overall did a pretty good job for us.
Coach, your players of the game for Marshall.
So we had Calvin Boyd as player of the game from an offensive standpoint. He played both ways, obviously, and just came in and did a really good job blocking for us. And arguably one of the biggest plays of the night was we fumbled the football and it got kicked around, and Calvin came from nowhere and just run it down and recovered it and gave us a big first down.
Mm-hmm.
But he was our offensive player of the week. Defensively, we named 2 guys. Ty Lindsay thought played very well for us. They had to change their scheme to run the ball because he was doing such a good job on their power play that they ran, and really engaging that tight end and really being physical with him. And then Josh Gaskin, who came in, another kid that also plays offense, came in for us and gave us some really good plays from a defensive standpoint. Both those kids just doing their job, understanding the scheme of what we're trying to get accomplished, and not hesitating to do what they're supposed to do. That's why we named them. And then special teams player of the week was KC. KC had some really good punts for us. Able to do some things on kickoff, put the ball where we need to. They've been consistent for us all year long.
So it's Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant tonight comes into the Tomato Bowl for senior night, and this is a team that they've won one game as well, just like Jacksonville. But it's a good one-win team. I mean, they have some talent. They've been able to score points, averaging about 20 points a game. I think I looked at their stats, and they put up about 260 in total offense per game to Jacksonville's 230, 240. Pretty evenly matched game, Coach.
Yeah, we feel like it's a great opportunity for us to get a win. We've just got to come out. We've got to execute. We've got to make good on plays in the red zone. We've got to get in the end zone and score. Feel really good about being able to match up with them from a defensive standpoint. They're a little bit kind of out there on what they do. It seems like they game plan specifically for their opponents, so that we don't really know exactly what their plan is going to be to attack us. We'll have to find that out as the game goes. Obviously, we've seen the film of what they have done, but it's almost every week there's a new little niche in what they're doing. So, the kids just got to play. We need to be excited about being able to play at home. Senior night, obviously, we'd love to send these seniors off on a great note for their last home football game at the Tomato Bowl. And I think we've got a great opportunity to go out and compete and get a win.
Coach, I just continue to be impressed by your team and your coaching staff, the attitudes. I go to practice, and this doesn't act like a one-win team. Everybody just seems to keep working hard and buying in, and their coaches are coaching hard. I know you have to feel good as the head coach knowing that nobody's packed it in at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And, quite honestly, it's not the character of these kids. And they've done a really good job. They understand the scenario, obviously. But they do a good job of just coming out and going to work. And, at the end of the day, they're a pleasure to coach because of that, because of their commitment and their positive attitudes and their willingness to work every single day.
And on that note, I just want to say, you have a son, Jared's in the senior class, but this senior class, we've seen them coming, and we've seen their attitudes, and we've seen the way that they've carried themselves. And that's been impressive to me. That I know the community sees that. It's been a really solid class. Yeah, maybe they don't have the wins that you want, but it has to be good for the coaching staff to see, like you said, them coming to work every day and working hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been disappointments along the way. There's games we felt like obviously we should have won, and had an opportunity to win games. So that's there. But like I said, just their attitude, their selflessness. We got a bunch of kids that we're looking at, playing on both sides of the ball come Friday night. I mean, we're going to try to pull out all the stops, and everybody's willing to do their part and be a part of what's going on. So that's, like I said, that's about all you can ask as a head coach.
Back to football, plans, keys to the game to get the win versus Mount Pleasant.
I think from a defensive standpoint, we've got to control their quarterback. He's their guy. He runs the ball some. He gets loose on some people, particularly in the passing game, scrambles pretty effectively. We've got to make sure we contain him, keep him in the pocket. They've got a tall receiver, their number 2, that can go up and get a ball, over your head if you don't defend him well. And a running back that's pretty fast. If you let him get in the open field, he'll take it to the house on you. So we've got to be able to contain them from an offensive standpoint or from a defensive standpoint. From an offensive standpoint, it's going to boil down to execution. We've got to know exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and putting some things new in this week and trying to work out the wrinkles on it in 3 days to get them prepped and ready to go on Friday night. We've just got to have great attention to detail and know exactly who we're blocking so that what we do can be effective and obviously put it in the end zone. We've got to find a way to get it in the end zone.
It's senior night at Tomato Bowl. Kickoff coming up at 7:30. For Inside the Huddle, I'm Matt Montgomery, Jason Holman. We'll see you at kickoff.
Stadium on the hill. It is historic. It is iconic red rock and a J made of flame. It is the season of fall and football in the Lone Star State. It is where legends are born and perseverance reigns supreme. It is where a proud city comes to cheer its Indians to victory. It is Friday night in the historic Tomato Bowl.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl, downtown Jacksonville. Matt, got you down on the field with us once again tonight, and that hype video gets you a little pumped up for tonight.
Yeah, I always like to look across the way and look at the opposing fans and just see what they're looking at, and every head's turned. It's kind of a unique video that you see. Not a lot of program stadiums have that kind of a highlight. It's pretty cool. So very well done, guys. It's a few minutes here before kickoff. We had a massive pregame. You guys had a great interview with Roy Alvarez, and of course we had the senior night, and boy, they really whizzed through that, but they have that thing choreographed now. You always wonder, how are they going to get through before kickoff with all those kids? And they always manage to do it really well. So
they do. They've got it down to a science now, I think.
Yeah, very well done. So tonight, last home game at Tomato Bowl. Both teams coming in. Mount Pleasant with 1 win. Jacksonville also with 1 win. This is probably the best 1-win team in the state of Texas, in my opinion, in Mount Pleasant. They average about 20 points a game. They've played some really good football teams. They average about 260 yards of total offense. They're not bad. I mean, they scored 21 last week at their 49-21 loss to Texas High, but they have some dudes. I mean, their quarterback, Carter Cook, he's a junior. He can really go. The running back, Grant, the junior, they got a couple of receivers in Thompson and Brandon, a sophomore that Jacksonville's really going to have to contend with tonight. And, going back to last week against Marshall, I mean, it's 7-0 in the middle of the second quarter. Marshall with a win. With a lead. And Jacksonville played really well, only down 14-0 at the half, and then just could not get the offense untracked. Didn't get past the 30-yard line. So it was a tough night offensively, but defensively, had a great, I think, a very well-played defensive game, considering the offense really couldn't move the football. 3 turnovers, great, a couple of interceptions, a fumble recovery. The defense did what they needed to do to stay in the ball game against a really good Marshall team. Tonight, they're going to have that same kind of effort. But the offense tonight's going to see some changes. You heard Jason Holman talking about that a moment ago on Inside the Huddle. Tonight it's going to be Drew Dials, a young man that he's a senior, was injured in the first game against Center. Did not think he was going to be back. Played last week, and then this week they put in several packages for Drew. He's going to get the start at quarterback for Jacksonville, and it's good to see that senior get that opportunity.
Oh, definitely. He was our spotlight player of the game tonight, and we're really excited to have Drew back. There's a lot of promise there. We didn't get to see much of Drew. He got hurt in the first game, and we saw him a little bit last week, but it's exciting to see. It's going to be really exciting to see what exactly Drew can get done tonight on offense.
No question. Last week, he just was trying to get into the mix of things, and Trent Clater went most of the way at quarterback. And man, you saw Drew at quarterback. He lined up at an H-back. He lined up at tight end, caught a pass actually in that game against Marshall. So you'll see that. But tonight, guys, the magic number tonight is 93. You know what that number means?
I do not know what 93 means.
93 yards for Didi Mars to get to 1,000.
Oh.
Yep. So he's actually, that's that Aggie math for you. I think it's 92 yards. No, it's 91 yards. Excuse me.
Even better.
91 yards, not 93. So 91 is the magic number. We'll take 93.
We'll definitely take 93. Yeah. Anything that can push Didi over 1,000 yards on the season is going to be big tonight.
Yeah, and we knew coming into the season that was going to be Jacksonville's MO, was going to run the football behind a really good offensive line that just got better and better as the season got along. They just seemed to struggle in the red zone and getting points on the board, and they're averaging only about 10 points a game as Jacksonville. They got to do better than that tonight. They need an effort like they had against Nacogdoches in the opening district game, and to get the win tonight against Mount Pleasant. The Tigers now on the field, watching them warm up. Man, you're in this 5A district. Everybody looks really good. Physically, they're big, they're strong, and you think, why do they only have one win? I don't know. Maybe they make some of those 5 or 6 plays that Jacksonville makes, it seems like, in every ball game that kind of takes them out of it, because you look at Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's got the same kind of looking kids. So
they definitely do. And I think 21 points last week on Texas High was pretty impressive. You're talking about the number 1 team in the state right now. They've had a tremendous season. They're going to have a tremendous postseason after we get done with district in a couple weeks for them. If they can put up 21 on Texas High, it's going to take a real strong performance from the defense tonight to keep them out of the end zone. And, offensively, if they're averaging 20-something points a game, you're going to have to figure out a way to get the ball in the end zone multiple times tonight and have, similar of a scoring game, if not more, than you did against Brownsboro.
Yeah, no question. And Ben Hoffmeyer's defense, the Jacksonville defensive coordinator, is so proud of the way his defense played last week. Now, hopefully tonight, Jacksonville's offense can match that defensive effort. Again, the 3 turnovers last week, I think that is what kept Jacksonville really in the ball game in the first half. The offense just has to answer the bell, and it would be nice if Jacksonville can just control the football and keep it away from a really good Mount Pleasant offense that can put some points up on the board. So Fighting Indians now getting, as Enter the Sandman starts playing, I know that's the cue for the Fighting Indians to get in the run through. Mount Pleasant's already ready for the national anthem. We're set to go here nearly at Tomato Bowl in the last home game of the year. Fighting Indians are about to come out, and it is perfect weather, not too hot, not too cold, just right down here.
It is very nice outside tonight.
Yeah, no wind. Just what you'd expect in October in Texas.
And here comes the Tribe. Jacksonville making their way out of the tunnel to enter Sandman. Hopefully the guys are pumped up and ready for a good game tonight against Mount Pleasant.
Well, you always remember your last game at Tomato Bowl, and these seniors are really a great class to be around. I've been so impressed by these young men, just great attitudes. You wouldn't think this is a team that had one win. I got to practice on Monday, Tuesday. They just keep working hard. Great attitude. Coaches still totally invested in them, and you just like to see them go out tonight with a win in their last game of the season here at Tomato Bowl. So getting ready for the national anthem to be played by the Jacksonville High School Band. Both teams assembled on the sidelines. Let's listen in.
As we honor America and those who protect our freedoms both home and abroad, please join the Jacksonville High School Choir under the direction of Ms. Tiffany Hammock as they sing our national anthem.
That was the Jacksonville High School Choir, directed by Tiffany Hammock. Sorry, not the JHS Band tonight, as the choir does the honors. It's a tradition here in Jacksonville. Last ball game, the seniors and the choir do the national anthem. So both teams now getting ready for the coin toss, and I kind of changed it up a little bit tonight, guys. I did not ask Jason Holman what the coin toss turned out to be as they did it pregame. I'm going to be surprised, and I'm just going to change it around tonight. I got to do something different. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again.
Well, hopefully if we win the toss, we elect to defer once again. That seemed to be a pretty good tone setter so far.
It was. It really did. It really worked well last week.
Captains for tonight game first for the Mount Pleasant Tigers is number 3, Shad Smith.
Introducing the captains now. Let's listen in.
Jonathan Amivia, and number 9, Carter Cook. For the Fighting Indians, we have number 2, Didi Mares, number 8, Drew Dials, and number 15, Jared Holman.
Officials talking to both sets of captains. This is the same officiating crew that we had a couple of weeks ago against White House. A little bit different. The white hat is going to be the veteran, Mike Jones. Mount Pleasant wins the toss.
They will kick from the clock.
Jacksonville's offense will get the football to start the football game, and Mount Pleasant will defer. So it's the referee Mike Jones, headline judge Isaiah Lopez, Dylan McCord is your side judge, Nick Navarro your back judge, your umpire Lee Schminsky, and your line judge is Brad Burkell, and the field judge Jason Hastings. Mike Jones, the referee, has been officiating since 1976. That is a long time.
That is a very long time.
I mean, he's pushing 50 years right there, buddy. 48. I guess this would be his 49th season. Next year would be 50.
So, since we just had the coin toss, how do we get into deferring the toss when you win it? Why don't they just take the ball?
A lot of times teams want to set the tone. I mean, if your defense is playing really well, you want to set the tone, get a 3 and out, and give your offense the ball, and then you get the possession to start that second half. I mean, it just seems like the deferral has been a really popular thing. For a while, it was like, give me the ball because of all the spread offenses, and it's kind of changed a little bit. I'm seeing more and more teams
Well, why don't they just choose to kick
yeah,
off?
why don't they just choose to kick? Where did the language of deferring come into play?
I don't know. We're set to kick off. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here's Alberto Avila with the pop-up. Here's Ryan.
Avila pops this one up to the right side. Fielded by Jacksonville. Good pursuit there on the kickoff from Mount Pleasant. I believe it was McGowan.
Yep, McGowan with the
on the reception.
Yep. So Drew Dials getting the start at quarterback tonight for the Fighting Indians. Of course, as we talked about just a few minutes ago, we'll be watching Didi Mares with that 91 yards he needs to get to 1,000 yards to be the first 1,000-yard rusher for Jacksonville since 2006 when Carmen Boyd Anderson, and I'm talking about running back, not quarterback, running back.
Looks like Jacksonville starting with an empty backfield. Drew Dials, lone man in the backfield. He's going to send McGowan in motion. Handoff goes to him around the right side. Good pickup for Jordan McGowan on first down, and that will be good for EAG Ford first down yardage.
Boy, McGowan, the sophomore, just his third game back, missed the whole season until a couple of weeks ago. And he's a guy that Jason Holman says they want to get him the football. You see why he planted that foot on the sideline and picks up the EAG Ford first down.
So 1st and 10 now for Jacksonville. Didi Mares in the backfield. Drew going to fake the handoff, keep it himself this time. He's going to pick up one on the play.
Drew Dials just gives you that other look on the zone read. It puts some more pressure on the Mount Pleasant defense. And of course, Trent Clater may see some time tonight, the starting quarterback all year until tonight. 2nd and 8.
Dials going to flip this one out for McGowan. That one pitch did not get to McGowan. He's able to jump on it, but going to be a big loss on 2nd down for the Indians.
Yeah, it just did not work out. Drew's toss right there just too far out in front. The pitch relationship between him and McGowan just wasn't good from the get-go. And Drew really never looked to where McGowan was. He just kind of pitched it out there, and Jacksonville's pretty fortunate they kept the football here. It's 3rd down and a mile for Jacksonville now after that fumble.
3rd down and Rusk for the Indians. Drew rolling to his left, going to fire this one downfield, trying to find Jared Holman. That one broken up, incomplete.
Not a bad throw by Drew right there under pressure. So Jacksonville, after getting a first down, will now punt the football, trying to find Jared Holman.
That'll bring KC on to punt this one away on 4th down for the Indians.
I thought Jared got bumped a little bit right before the ball got there, but no call by the official. So Jacksonville now will send out Cardenas, who was the special teams player of the week last week, with his outstanding punting.
Low snap back. Casey able to field it cleanly, gets the punt off. This one to the right side. Jacksonville going to let it take a good roll. Still rolling. Finally going to be down at the Mount Pleasant 22, but a pretty good boot there for KC.
Kept it low, kept it away.
44-yard punt there for KC.
I tell you, the Jacksonville punt coverage has been really good. Lamont Butler, the Jacksonville defensive line coach, also the special teams coach, has really coached up his punting unit and also the punt receiving unit. Done a nice job this year making sure guys are in position, and of course Casey does his job. So here's Mount Pleasant, the quarterback, Carter Cook, the junior. He is the cat that makes this Mount Pleasant offense go.
Cook in the shotgun, one receiver each way for the Tigers. Cook going to let this one fly downfield. Brendan Richards with great coverage, able to break that one up, incomplete.
Yeah, a little dipsy doodle, just a little flea flicker. Running back tosses it back to Cook, going down to their main receiver, Deuce Thompson. And Brendan, who had a pick last week, a nice PBU. That one, another PBU, just stepping right in front of the receiver Thompson and knocking away 2nd and 10. Jacksonville band getting involved here, cranking up the sound now with
they are.
Mount Pleasant down here.
They're the lone band in the stadium tonight too. Cook gonna hand this one off around the right side. Goes BJ Brannon, slips down
going to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Tigers.
Indians, nice job getting up the field and forcing Brandon to take it to the outside, and he just kind of got tripped up by the turf monster. About the 20, falls forward to the 21. So 3rd down, 10 to go, no gain on the play.
Third and 10 for Mount Pleasant. Going to send 2 receivers each way. I believe it's Tony Grant in the backfield alongside Cook. Cook's going to drop back. Has lots of pressure. Going to keep it himself. Finally fires this one downfield. Pass complete to Dexter King. Pushed out of bounds just short of the 1st down marker. So it's going to be 4th and short. And it looks like Mount Pleasant's going to bring on the punting unit.
Yeah, Cook looked like he was going to take off running, and right before he got to the line of scrimmage, decides to flip it out there. They make the catch, and Jacksonville doing a nice job coverage downfield. That's why Cook was looking downfield. He checked down to that reception. Not enough for the 1st down, so both teams are going to have a punt here in this first quarter as we go under 10 toward the 9-minute mark. Brendan Richards deep for Jacksonville.
Mount Pleasant able to get the punt off. Richards going to field it, makes a man miss, rolling to his right. Ball comes out, flag came in as well. I believe.
And did he fumble or did the ground
I
cause
sure thought the ground caused it. There were flags that came in almost as soon as he got hit, so we'll see.
You got to protect that football a little better right there. Kind of was running loose with it. Officials talking about it. And again, this is the same crew we had a couple weeks ago in the White House game when they had several conferences like that. But they're going to look like they're going to say Jacksonville's Brendan Richards was down on the play, but it's going to be illegal use of the block in the back. They're going to get Elijah Benavides for that. They're going to move it back, but fortunately, the ball was down, as the official says. The Fighting Indians will keep possession. Their 2nd possession. No score here with 8:54 remaining in the 1st.
So after the penalty, Jacksonville will take over 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. I'll get this right one of these days, Matt.
It's close. You're between the 20 and the 30.
I was between the 20 and the 30. Dial's going to send a man in motion. Flips this one over the middle. Finds Dante with lots of room to run. Dante able to make a man miss. Finally going to be brought down, but a huge pickup there on 1st down for Jacksonville.
Well, that slant route that Dante's done such a nice job of this year. Drew hits him in stride, and then what a nice move by Dante as the Indians going to NASCAR this thing, trying to hurry up here, 1st down. It's going to be procedure. Jared Holman jumping right there and be 1st and 15, but what a nice move by Dante after the catch. Thought he might have had a chance to advance it even further as a couple of Mount Pleasant guys ran into each other and they fell. I said, oh, here we go. And all of a sudden the speed from number 1 right there, Braylon Smith, he caught Dante in a hurry. 1st and 15 now.
1 receiver each way. Dial's going to send a man in motion. Handoff goes to Dede. Immediately met behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of a couple.
Man, Nehemiah Savage, the 6'1", 240-pound 10th grader. I mean, he got right through the line. Just look, nobody touched him. Just wraps up Dede for another loss of about 3. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 18 to go. Zeke Whitaker checks in at receiver for Jacksonville.
Drew going to send a man in motion, tries to flip this one to Dede. Nothing there. Mount Pleasant's defense clearly reading that one. So it's going to be 3rd and long now.
Well, Jacksonville is trying to loosen up, and you know the teams have been putting 8 people in the box to stop Dede, and I like the game plan of trying to loosen things up. But boy, Mount Pleasant is just flying to the football. Another loss on the play. It's 3rd down and 20 now.
2 receivers left, 1 right for the Indians.
They're coming off the edge.
Dials loads up, finds Zeke.
Zeke with a big catch.
With a big catch. Big third down play there for Jacksonville. Going to be good for an EAG Ford first down.
Mount Pleasant is bringing those linebackers off the edge, and Drew Dials just stayed in there like a champion, planted his feet, knew he was going to get hit in the mouth. And, boy, what a great catch by Zeke Whitaker downfield. But pass was just a little bit behind him. He reaches up and snags it, took a shot, held on to it. And there's that EAG Ford first down to the Mount Pleasant 21.
Mares in the backfield with Drew Dials. A little miscommunication there. Drew going to keep it himself. Up the middle goes Drew Dials, and that's going to be good for another EAG Ford first down.
You're right, Ryan. That was a botched play. I mean, I think that Drew thought he was going to hand it off, and it wasn't taken by the running back coming through, and he makes something out of nothing, does Drew Dials. And you see a play like that, and you think, what could have been, for Jacksonville offensively this year if he'd have been able to stay. But it's just the first quarter. Got a lot of ball to play, but that's what Drew Dials can add to your offense right there, first down.
Drew going to send a man in motion. The handoff goes. Flags come in on the play. I believe that was Isaac Suarez Mosley.
That face mask call could have been made from Rusk. It was so clear. It grabbed Suarez Mosley's face mask, and it's going to be an automatic first down. Half the distance to the goal.
So it's going to be first and goal now for Jacksonville. Another EAG Ford first down after the face mask, and that will get Jacksonville first and goal from about the 5.5-yard line.
Got to finish here if you're Jacksonville. They've struggled in the red zone this year. Remember last week, they didn't get inside Marshall's 30 offensively. Here they are, first and goal.
Empty backfield. Drew sends a man in motion. Mount Pleasant's offsides, but Drew Dials up the middle and in for the score.
Official is going to call offsides against Mount Pleasant. That touchdown is going to stand, and Drew Dials gets the score from 3 yards out, 6 yards out, puts the Fighting Indians on the board with 5:30 remaining in this first quarter.
KC in to attempt the extra point. Extra points brought to you by our friends at Neighbors Coffee. Good snap. Dante not really able to get it down. Not really sure what happened there. Low ball.
That looked like my one iron right there.
Missed extra point from KC. So with 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Jacksonville takes a 6-0 lead over Mount Pleasant. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Passing the competition by leaps and bounds. The team of world-class specialists at Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute are experts in caring for bones, joints, and muscles. In addition to treatment, they also provide special programs designed to keep you in optimal shape and improve athletic performance. So whether you're a student athlete or a weekend warrior, they'll keep you at the top of your game. Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, taking orthopedic care a step further.
Dr. Darwin Dar and his staff at Dar Chiropractic specialize in family chiropractic care, exercise rehab, digital x-rays, nutrition and weight loss programs, decompression, and chiropractic wellness care. Located down the street from the Tomato Bowl, Dar Chiropractic. They can help you feel better.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl, downtown Jacksonville. Jacksonville's taking a 6-0 lead over Mount Pleasant here in the first. And with the Fighting Indians scoring drive summary, here is Todd Travis.
It was an 8-play, 72-yard drive, finishing with a 6-yard run by Drew Dials for the touchdown, putting the Indians up 6-0.
Well, it's amazing what happens when you have a quarterback threat to run the football like Drew Dials brings to this Jacksonville offense for these last two ball games. What a nice couple of throws he made, too.
KC boots this one deep, caught on the goal line. Mount Pleasant going to bring it out, throws it across the field now. Jacksonville with some good coverage. Need to bring the returner down. They finally do inside the Mount Pleasant 20.
Just great coverage, man. Jaqueline Goodwin. I mean, Josh Gaskin, Dante. They did not get fooled. The receiver number 8 who received the B.J. Brandon throws it all the way across the field. I thought he threw it over his teammate's head, but he kind of made an over-the-shoulder catch. But here comes Goodwin, Gaskin, all over him. Fighting Indians trap him at the 17 of Mount Pleasant.
Big start here for Jacksonville. Let's see if they can keep it going. 5:15 here left in the first. Mount Pleasant with 1st and 10 from their own 17. Cook gonna hand this one off on 1st down. Around the left side goes number 10, Tony Grant, finally brought down by Michael Miles, but gonna pick up a 1st down.
Well, good blocking on that left side by Mount Pleasant. Jacksonville just kind of got pinned, and boy, I tell you, he took a nice pop, did Tony Grant, right in the gap. Michael Miles saves the long touchdown. 1st down, Mount Pleasant. They push it out to their 31.
2 receivers each way for the Tigers. Cook looking to his right. This one well over the receiver, incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that hurry right there is credited to Calvin Boyd, the Jacksonville senior, getting in there and getting his hand up. Then he just kind of launched his body up in the air, and I got to believe Carter Cook, the quarterback from Mount Pleasant, felt Boyd's presence, and that's what caused him to fly that football over his receiver's head. Nice defensive play there by Boyd of Jacksonville, 2nd and 10.
Two-back set here with Cook. He's going to send Brannon in motion. Now looking for Brannon in the flat. Finds him. Pretty good pickup here for B.J. Brannon. Finally knocked out of bounds. Gets across midfield, and that's good for another Mount Pleasant 1st down.
Yeah, Brandon's a guy. He's a 10th grader for Mount Pleasant. They got a lot of sophomores on this Mount Pleasant team. Head coach Joe Kaluli has got a promising future with this team. Big 1st down for Mount Pleasant. A drive that started through 17 is now at the 50.
2 receivers right, 1 left for the Tigers from midfield. Brandon going to go in motion once again. Handoff goes to Grant up the middle. Pretty good pickup there on 1st down. Going to get 4.
Gaskin with a tackle for Jacksonville. Grant gets 4, 2nd and 6. Yeah, looking at the roster of Mount Pleasant, I think I counted 12 sophomores on this varsity.
That's quite a few sophomores on a varsity team.
That is. And Jacksonville started the season with 8, so 12 is a lot.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Cook going to fake the handoff, finds Deuce Thompson. Good coverage from Jacksonville. He's only going to get 1 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Good job by Brendan Richards turning the receiver back into the teeth of the defense, and Thompson just had to go back in, and boy, he was met in a hurry by Dorsey, Gaskin, and Elijah Benavides. So 3rd down, 4 to go, probably almost 5 to go for Mount Pleasant with the ball at the Jacksonville 45-yard line.
Tony Grant in the backfield with Carter Cook. 1 receiver each way on 3rd and 5. Cook going to hand this one off to Grant, trying to find some room to run. Jacksonville with some good coverage, finally brought down by Elijah Benavides. Flag came in.
Flag on the play. It should be, I think it's going to be on Mount Pleasant, the way the official's talking to Jason Holman, the Jacksonville coach. The head linesman is saying, hold up here, I got a penalty. And I'm not, a lot of times that's an offsides penalty. It looked like maybe Jacksonville jumped, but did somebody from Mount Pleasant jump? It looks like it's going to go against Mount Pleasant.
It does appear that way.
And he was about a yard short, maybe a couple from the 1st down.
I think he was about 3 yards short.
Yeah, so that would keep 4th down if you decline it. And that's what Jason Holman has decided to do, to decline the penalty and keep it at 4th down instead of giving them 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9. It's going to be 4th and 3. So now your defense has got to step up. This is 4-down territory. I don't anticipate Mount Pleasant punting from here when the football's at the Jacksonville 43. So we got a first big play of the game right here. 4th down, 3. Mount Pleasant going for it at the Jacksonville 43.
Big fourth down here for the Jacksonville defense.
Got the power in the backfield now with two big dudes on that right side to block.
Cook going to hand this one off to Grant. Cuts up the middle. Nothing there. Great pursuit from the Jacksonville defense. Loss of 2 on the play and turnover on downs.
Wow. Calvin Boyd, Benavides, Ty Lindsay getting up off the pile. Mike Taylor. I mean, I can't just name one guy on that tackle. It was a bunch of them.
There were a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It was a great push from the D-line for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the running back Grant decided to go into the A gap when he had 2 big dudes over there just ready to run behind in the D gap, maybe C gap. And he just decided to run up the middle, and Jacksonville stoned him. So the Fighting Indians get the 4th down stop, turnover on downs. They'll start this drive at their own 45-yard line, leading 6-0.
Empty backfield. Suarez Mosley coming in late, 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. 2 receivers left, 1 right. I believe Jacksonville going to call a timeout.
Yeah. Let's take it with them.
We'll step away. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
I'm Matt Montgomery. For over 40 years, my business has helped people manage their money and organize their financial life. I'm a registered investment advisor with the state of Texas and chartered financial consultant. Whether you need portfolio management or comprehensive financial planning, I can help you. Call me for a free consultation. Since 2004, Legends Old Time Burger Cafe has been the home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburgers. Hand-battered chicken strips, chicken fried steak, fries, and onion rings are the best around. Legends, home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburger.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl, downtown Jacksonville. Out of the timeout, Jacksonville has a 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Empty backfield to start this drive for Drew Dials. Going to send McGowan in motion. Drew dropping back, looking for Dante on the right. Pass a little short, incomplete.
Well, he had people in his face, did Drew. I mean, he just had to – really, it's amazing that he got rid of that football right there because Braylon Smith was all in his face. No, check that. Not Smith. It was Emmanuel Harris, 6'3", 220, a junior. And I tell you, if Dante can just turn around and come back, the defender fell down. It's a completion. Drew was very fortunate he got that one away, though.
Yeah, he definitely was backpedaling as he let that one go. So 2nd and 10 now for Jacksonville. Drew going to keep it himself. Has some room to run. Finally brought down. Going to pick up 3. Actually, they may give him 4 on the play.
It just adds another dimension right there. Not a zone read of any kind. He just kind of kept it, took it, and went on with it. Picks up 4. Gaskin will check in. Dede checks back in. Dede's found the going rough in this first quarter as we go under 2 minutes remaining. Fighting Indians leading 6-0. Looking at 3rd down and 6.
McGowan goes in motion. Drew looking over the middle. That pass broken up.
Close.
Almost picked off.
Looking for Dante over the top, and Emmanuel Harris drops back and got his hands on it. Check that. It was Lincoln Dyke knocking that away. Excuse me.
It's going to be 4th and 6, so Jackson will send the punting unit on, try to pin the Tigers deep in their own territory. So KC on to punt this one away for the Indians. Good snap back. KC rolling to his right, gets this one off. It's fair caught at the Mount Pleasant 17.
Yeah, and B.J. Brandon, the Mount Pleasant punt returner there, a little frustrated because he thought he called fair catch, and he said, dang, I had some room there. I didn't need to fair catch that one. So Mount Pleasant will start this drive at their own 17, the second time they've started a drive at their own 17. That last one, they got down to the Jacksonville 45 before they were stopped on 4th down and 3. This will be Mount Pleasant's third offensive possessions. Both teams have had 3 now. Fighting Indians are the ones with the points on the board, 6-0.
Minute and a half left here in the first quarter. Mount Pleasant taking over 1st and 10. Cook alongside Grant in the backfield. Handoff goes to Tony Grant around the right side. Not much there. Going to pick up 1 on the play.
Just a backside tackle by Jordan Dorsey, coming all the way back on the other side of the field. And that little hesitation by Tony Grant, waiting for his hold to develop, Dorsey was able to catch him. Picks up a yard, 2nd and 9. Jacksonville Band coming off their, what is that, superior rating last week? We'll talk more about that in a little bit. They're striking up the band here to try to give Mount Pleasant some noise.
Cook dropping back, looking to his right. Incomplete. That one short. I believe that was Samadrick Kincaid on the coverage over there.
Boy, Jacksonville pretty fortunate. Kincaid was beat. I mean, the throw was underthrown by Cook, and he had at least 3 steps on Samadrick. Fortunately, the ball was underthrown, and still he came back and was almost able to make the catch. Incomplete. 3rd down, 9 now, as Mount Pleasant has gone deep a few times tonight already in this first quarter. Oh, that's motion.
Cook.
That should be a penalty.
Dropping
ref.
back. This one's tipped. Picked off by Brendan Richards, making his way across the field. Hurdle a man and finally be pushed out of bounds.
Cannot believe they did not call that. The official here on the side, right here, right by me, the head linesman, he reached for his flag. The play should have been blown dead. Both receivers from Mount Pleasant jumped, and then he puts his hand down. Jacksonville coaching staff is correct, but hey, it worked out pretty good. Jacksonville gets the pick, the first turnover of the ball game. Brendan Richards, his 2nd interception in consecutive weeks, gives Jacksonville the football in great field position at the 38 of Mount Pleasant. 34 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
And Brendan did a great job there tracking that ball. I mean, it got tipped about the line of scrimmage. It's up in the air for a while, and he's, covering his guy. And then, I guess maybe the coaches were yelling, reacts to it, goes over, gets the pick. Big turnover for Jacksonville. McGowan gets the handoff on 1st down. Going to lose about 3.
I think it's pretty clear that it's going to be difficult to run east and west on Mount Pleasant. Their defense, which like a lot of defenses in this 5A district, a lot of speed on defense. I mean, even as a defense like Nacogdoches, who's not a very good football team, their defense could run. Mount Pleasant, it's going to be tough doing that with them tonight.
Dials going to try to pitch this one over the head of McGowan. They're going to call that an incomplete pass. That's very fortunate for the Jacksonville offense. As time expires, so that is the end of the first quarter.
Incomplete.
Very fortunate for Jacksonville.
I saw they put that play in this week, and I just didn't like it when I saw it. It's an option where you're going down and you have a choice. You can flip it out there, but is it a pass? Is it a pitch? Well, they call that one a pass, so fortunately Fighting Indians are going to keep the football.
So at the end of 1, Jacksonville leads Mount Pleasant. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Gene Bromlow, class of 66, and his daughter Ann Farmer proudly support Jacksonville athletics. Come on over to the South Jackson Dairy Queen and get one of their world-famous blizzards. Dairy Queen, where happy tastes good.
Tonight's game statistics are sponsored by Randy Gorham, CPA. Randy Gorham, CPA, the source for your accounting and income tax needs since 1984.
For the first day of school, for the last day of work, for the satisfaction of a job well done, for the ideas that change the world, for good times, for not so good times, for her future and hers and his. For serving our customers and connecting communities, we're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl for the start of the second quarter. Jacksonville leads Mount Pleasant 6-0, and they've got 3rd and long to begin the second quarter.
Again, Jacksonville with late getting guys on the field, but plenty of time on the play clock. 3rd and long. 3rd and 13. They're bringing them.
Drew Dials drops back looking for Zeke. Finds his man complete. Big catch there to start the second quarter for Jacksonville. Zeke calls in another one.
Two catches by Zeke. And I tell you, I can't say enough about Drew Dial staying in there again. They brought the house. They had everybody coming. And Drew just planted his foot and just gets rid of it. Just a quick release. That's all you needed to do. Zeke beats the defender deep, makes the catch, 1st down for Jacksonville at the 10.
McGowan goes in motion. Drew Dial's going to fake the handoff, keeping himself around the left side. Stopped just short of the goal line. But a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
Boy, great decision. Just the little zone read. Put it right there for Dede and then just pulled it out when the defensive lineman, number 93, committed to Dede. Nice play, nice read by Drew. Gets it to the 1, 2nd and goal at the 1. So we got a timeout here by Mount Pleasant. They're first.
We'll take it with them. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
We'd like to thank this week's team meal sponsor, the East Rusk Dairy Queen across from the Tomato Bowl. Thank you for your valued support of Jacksonville athletics.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Since 1953, Hubert Glass Oil has been servicing the Texas market with the finest quality fuels and lubricants. Each batch is crafted with precision and quality tested by our in-house lab. Whether you're on the road, on the farm, or on the job, we have the right product for your needs.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. Jacksonville with a 2nd and 1 here, trying to punch this one in. Mares in the backfield with Drew Dials. Handoff goes to Dede, trying to push the pile. Nothing there.
Boy, Jacksonville offensive line is really struggling tonight to get a push off the ball. I mean, Dede just gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe lost about a half yard as the defensive front for Mount Pleasant. They got some strength up front. Aylin Johnson, 305 pounds, 6'3", 305. Got 240-pound Nehemiah Savage. 3rd down goal now for Jacksonville.
Mares once again in the backfield with Drew Dials.
Nothing. I mean, there's just no push or blocking at all. Mount Pleasant was in the backfield right when the handoff was made. That is frustrating.
Where we had 2nd and 1, now we've got 4th and goal from the 5.
No KC as the Fighting Indians going for it on 4th and 5. Man, you may want to call timeout right here as the officials now. He's looking at the official now to, nope, he's calling something with 18 on the the play clock. So the Fighting Indians going for it here on 4th and 5 instead of the chip shot field goal here by KC. Okay. Hope you got it.
Go empty backfield. Dede still in the game. McGowan goes in motion. Dials trying to find Dede. Nothing there. Off the hands of Dede Mares. Incomplete. So Jacksonville turns it over on 4th and goal.
I mean, as starved as this football team has been all year for points, I just think you got to go for the points right there.
I agree.
I'm not second guessing. I mean, I don't want anybody to.
I know,
I'm just playing the probability. I'm a probability guy, just playing the 4th and 5 when their defense has stoned you 3 plays in a row, you might want to take the points. But, hey, that's the call the coaches made. They felt good with it. Didn't work. So now your defense is back out on the field with Mount Pleasant pinned at their own 5.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Cook standing in his own end zone.
Oh, man. That's a – come on, is that a safety?
Oh, you're going to say he got out to the 1.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Elijah. Was that Benavides coming in there? I didn't catch the replay.
I am not sure.
I think it was.
It was either him or Calvin Boyd.
Wow. What a tackle. Jamario Coleman is going to check in.
They're saying Mike Taylor.
Oh, Mike.
Yep.
Oh, right. I tell you, Taylor has been playing some really good defensive line for Jacksonville the last few weeks.
He has. So 2nd and long now for Mount Pleasant. Cook standing in his own end zone, going to keep it himself. Jacksonville meets him in the end zone.
That's a safety.
What a play from the Jacksonville defense.
It's Miles, Lindsey, Dorsey, Zeke Whitaker. They get the quarterback, Carter Cook, in the end zone for the safety. He didn't have a chance, man. He started coming around that edge, and blue jerseys swarmed him. And Jacksonville, they don't get the 3 in the field goal. I'll take the 2 and the football.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. We'll take the 2 points.
Wow.
Didn't kick the field goal. We see the replay right here. Look at all the blue jerseys right there on that replay. That is great pursuit by Ben Hoffmeyer's defense.
The defense has been the difference maker for Jacksonville this year, and they came up big right there. That's for dang sure.
They have played really strong the last 2 weeks. I know they got beat last week by Marshall, but we talked about in pregame how well they played. They're playing a heck of a first half so far. You saw it right there. A safety for the Jacksonville Fighting Indians, 8-0. And they will get the football here offensively.
So Mount Pleasant will kick off from their own 20 after the safety. Jacksonville gets the ball back, and it should be pretty good field position here after the kickoff.
The second 2-pointer for Jacksonville this year. Zamadric had one for, 95 yards. He ran the blocked extra point back and got the 2 points. So that's Jacksonville's second 2-pointer of the year.
So Alberto Avila set to kick this ball away after the safety. Avila hits this one deep. It's going to be fielded by Dante. Has some room to run. Needs to get upfield quickly. Gets out across the Jacksonville 35, so they will take over 1st and 10 from their own 37.
Yeah, decent field position. 8:25 remaining in the second. You got a little Momo right here. The Fighting Indian defense I think they just got in Mount Pleasant's head after that first play where they stopped them at the 1.
That was a huge play. I mean, that definitely set the tone to then get the safety.
You know, there's nothing worse for an offense when you have your entire backfield standing and they look down and they see the blue of the end zone. I mean, it just kind of – it's a little bit nerve-wracking right there because you got to make sure everything is perfect, and it wasn't. The Indians swarm for the safety. So here's Jacksonville first down, their own 37.
Empty backfield for Drew Dowles. McGowan goes in motion. Drew trying to keep it himself. Almost immediately wrapped up in the backfield. Going to be a pretty big loss here.
The play just looked ugly from the get-go as he was doing a zone read to Jordan McGowan. And I thought it was going to be a jet sweep to McGowan, and then McGowan kind of slowed down like he was going to take the football from Drew, and Drew kept it, and he loses 8.
I think they're going to give him 7, so it'll be 2nd and 17 from the Jacksonville 30. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Dede in the backfield alongside Drew Dowles. Drew looking to his left. That one going to be picked off. Deuce Thompson on the interception, and another pick 6 for Jacksonville.
And how many pick 6s has Jacksonville had this year? It's got to be a record. That is unbelievable how many they've had this year. Just an overthrow. I'm not sure where Drew was throwing that football. I thought he was maybe trying to hit Dante on the slant because Zeke was running a go route.
Yeah, he kind of threw it between them.
Yeah, just didn't really throw it to a player as much as he did a spot. And when you throw it to a spot, the defense is going to be there, and they get the pick six.
Mount Pleasant bringing a man on late to attempt the extra point. Extra points brought to you by our friends at Neighbors Coffee. And this one from Avila is blocked. McGowan still trying to pick it up. Finally picked up by Jordan Dorsey, and he's brought down. Jacksonville almost returned another block extra point.
That block came from right up the middle. I did not see who did it, but it was a solid block.
It was a very low kick as well from Avila. There was not much work.
Perfectly up in the air to McGowan.
It did.
Just couldn't get his hands on it, McGowan. So the score stays 8-6 Jacksonville.
Safety came out big.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be a tie ball game right now.
I mean, it's this is two defenses trying to win the games for their teams because both offenses continue to struggle.
So 8-6 now. Jacksonville still leading Mount Pleasant. Avila going to make his way out to kick off, this time from the 40.
Well, we talked about Didi Mars and needing 91 yards to get to 1,000. Guys, I'm not sure that's going to happen tonight because
it sure does not seem like it. There has not been much room to run.
Unless something changes, because the offensive line for Jacksonville has just been unable to get a push at all. They can't even get under the pads of Mount Pleasant on that. Their D-line is just dominating right now. But that can change. We've seen it change before.
Avila going to hit this one deep. Dante going to let this one go out for a touchback, so Jacksonville will take over 1st and 10 from their own 25.
Good decision. Hey, congratulations to the Jacksonville 8th grade. They won the other night. They're going to their final game this Tuesday night here at Tomato Bowl. Play one of the Longview teams and trying to finish 6-2. And the freshmen, they won their 6th game. They are 6-2, and they play here next Thursday night. Next Thursday night, yes, against Texas High, and that one is for a share of the district championship. So it's been a while since the freshmen have played for a district championship, at least a tie, and they've got that chance next week here at Tomato Bowl. Hope you can come out and watch the freshmen. Kickoff at 5. Here's Jacksonville first down.
Dial's going to send Suarez Mosley in motion. Handoff goes to him around the right side. Nothing there for Jacksonville. Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12. So far, Matt, that play has not worked very well.
It's just what I call an east-west play. It's jet sweep, and Mount Pleasant's just too fast. I mean, either that or they're just getting off Jacksonville's blocks quickly. I mean, you got to hold your block longer if you're Jacksonville because Mount Pleasant is just shoving you off, and they are using their foot speed to get to the ball carriers. And, I mean, how many losses have we seen so far in this first half for Jacksonville offensively by their running backs and their receivers on the jet sweep? A lot.
Mares in the backfield with Dial. Suarez Mosley goes in motion again. Drew going to keep it himself this time around the left side. Picks up a few. I think it's going to be a gain of 4, so it'll be 3rd and 8.
Had that ball out like a loaf of bread. I was so worried somebody's going to come from behind and chop that thing. Good decision by Drew to keep that one. So 3rd down. So 3rd down, 8 to go at the 27 of Jacksonville. Clock continues to move toward the 6-minute mark in the second quarter. A little slow getting the play in right here. Again, Jacksonville put in multiple plays this week when they switched to Drew at quarterback. So that's why you may be seeing some of these guys kind of slow to get to where they need to be. New plays. Oh, goodness, he moved. Come on. Oh.
5 yards. Still 3rd down.
If you don't know where you got to go, just be still.
Yeah.
Just don't move.
I mean, he was just trying to move up a yard, but
just don't move.
You're better off just to stay where you are.
If you're unsure, don't move.
So 3rd and 13 now after the penalty for Jacksonville.
10th grader. We've talked about that sophomore on the varsity. It's a little different, a little faster. 3rd down and a mile here. 3rd and 13.
Didi Mares in the backfield with Drew Dials. Dials going to keep it himself. Has some room to run. Big pickup Dials gets the EAG forward first down on 3rd and long.
What a huge hole on that left side by Luis Mancera, opening it up along with Para. Getting it done, Drew with a big first down. They faked the handoff to Didi, and boy, they collapsed on Mars. And why wouldn't you? The guy coming to the ball game, one of the leading rushers in District 7 5A Division II, keying on him. But it's been Drew Dials on that zone read, taking advantage.
And Drew did a great job there making sure that he got the first down. He did look over to make sure he was past the first down marker there right as he was going down.
Yes.
So 1st and 10 for Jacksonville from their own 37. Dials going to fake the handoff, keep it himself, has some room up the middle. Going to pick up about 3.
I'm going to have to talk to Mosley. He keeps looking. He's coming out right now. He almost moved again. He's not even involved in the play. Just be still. Did you see him? He kind of like he was fixing to move up. Drew picks up 3, 2nd and 7.
Under 4.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Jacksonville still leading Mount Pleasant 8-6. McGowan goes in motion. Dials going to keep it himself up the middle, still fighting for some yardage. Finally taken down, going to pick up another 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd. Actually, it looks like they're going to give him 4, so it's going to be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, another good decision by Drew. Mount Pleasant is just not going to let you jet sweep him. I mean, if he hands that ball off to McGowan right there, it's going to be a loss on the play. And Drew does a nice job reading it, pulling it, and getting up the field for a nice gain to make it a lot more makeable 3rd down 3.
Empty backfield for Drew Dials. McGowan going to go in motion. Drew trying to keep it himself up the middle once again. Going to pick up 1, so it's going to be 4th and 2. We'll see what the Indians decide to do.
That was that counter play where he had McGowan in motion. McGowan comes back, and he could have pitched that ball, and that's the left-handed pitch that we saw a minute ago. They called a pass. So glad he didn't make that. It's just, I mean, it was just a bad pitch relationship. And I think Drew made a great decision just trying to get what he could right there, but he only gets a yard. So here's KC to punt again as we go under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
KC drops it. This one's going to be picked up, and Mount Pleasant going to run it back for the touchdown.
Cooper Ryder picks it up untouched. KC just dropped the ball and tried to pick it up, dropped it again, got hit, and there's nobody at all back there for Jacksonville to help. Good snap. I mean, you can't fault that. I mean, it was a good snap by Toby Simpson, and KC just dropped the ball. And it dropped it twice, actually, because when he tried to pick it up a second time, that's when he got hit.
So 2 defensive touchdowns for Mount Pleasant. Gives them the lead for the moment. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining. Avila, Mount Pleasant going to work this one around the end, and they get in for 2.
Just a bad snap that he turned into a 2-point conversion. Number 3 on the run, Deuce Thompson. Excuse me, that's Ashad Smith. I don't think that was a fake. He just dropped the snap and took off, and Jacksonville just didn't seal the edge. 14-8, Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant takes a 14-8 lead over Jacksonville. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Since 1953, Hubert Glass Oil has been servicing the Texas market with the finest quality fuels and lubricants. Each batch is crafted with precision and quality tested by our in-house lab. Whether you're on the road, on the farm, or on the job, we have the right product for your needs.
The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich is delicious. It's got that barbecue flavor, the cheese melts on top with that Texas toast. You look at it, your mouth starts watering. It's my go-to sandwich. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich, that's my all-time favorite.
I'm Matt Montgomery. For over 40 years, my business has helped people manage their money and organize their financial life. I'm a registered investment advisor with the state of Texas and chartered financial consultant. Whether you need portfolio management or comprehensive financial planning, I can help you. Call me for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. Mount Pleasant takes a 14-8 lead over Jacksonville, 2:38 remaining here in the first half. Alberto Avila hits this one deep. Dante goes down to a knee trying to field it, so Jacksonville will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, he called fair catch.
He did call fair catch?
He did. He called fair catch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he went down on his knee. I mean, yeah, if he didn't call fair catch, that would be down at the 10, but he called fair catch.
That's a good fair catch call then, because that pushes the ball out to the 25.
Yeah, he called it. It was really quick, but he called it. So Jacksonville has 2 timeouts remaining here with 2:38 to go in the first half. It's Mount Pleasant with 2 defensive scores. Their offense hasn't scored. Of course, Jacksonville has 2 points that their defense scored. The offense, out of the 22 points, has only scored 6.
So Jacksonville takes over 1st and 10 from their own 25 to start this drive. Drew Dials going to keep it himself, trying to find some room to run. There's not much there, but he picks up 1.
Number 8, Drew Dials on the quarterback keeper. He's brought down the number 3, Shad Smith.
So if you're Jacksonville right here, do you just go in and regroup, or do you try to put the ball in the air with 2:20 and counting? I don't think Jacksonville will risk that right here with a quarterback with this, basically hasn't played a lot. Played some last week against Marshall, but his first start since the center game.
Maybe not, but you'd sure like to go in at least tied at the half. If you can go down and punch this one in. McGowan goes in motion. Pitch goes to him around the right side.
Yeah, I got him. That is an ugly face mask. The helmet came off of Jordan McGowan. Is Dexter King of Mount Pleasant. He just didn't get the face mask. I mean, he got all the screws out of it.
Yeah, he pulled the whole helmet off.
It came off. So automatic first down, stops the clock with 1:53. So now with a penalty like this, automatic first down, now you may be thinking take a shot downfield right here.
Yeah, hope Jordan McGowan is okay after that. Goodness gracious.
Well, the bad thing, what happened was when his helmet came off, his head slammed on the turf. And, you slam your head on the turf without a helmet. I think that's probably a little bit worse than with a helmet.
Yeah, I would think so. So
Zeke,
hopefully he's okay.
Zeke Whitaker checks into the ball game. Jared Holman will check out from his tight end position, and Gaskin now will come into the backfield as an H-back. So watch Zeke right here. He has 2 huge catches in his first half, does Whitaker.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Drew Dials gives the handoff to Dede.
Yeah.
Dede trying to find some yardage on first down. Looks like they're going to give him 2.
That play sure looked like it was going to go a lot further than it ended up going. I mean, he had a head of steam, and he got through the hole, and he had a lot of space, and it closed very quickly on Dede.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant has been closing the space very quickly tonight.
They're just so fast defensively. I mean, I see why, they've stayed in all of their 7 ball games. They've been in 5 of them solidly. There's just a couple of games where they weren't.
Dials going to keep it himself up the middle. Gets across midfield.
Close
just short of the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
So will Jacksonville stop the clock here? You got 2 timeouts here. They're not calling a timeout. Okay. Can't take them with you.
Drew Dials gets the snap.
Who called timeout? Mount Pleasant?
I believe Mount Pleasant.
Yep, they did. I'm confused. I don't know.
I am too. We'll take the timeout with him. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
For the first day of school, for the last day of work, for the satisfaction of a job well done, for the ideas that change the world, for good times, for not so good times, for her future and hers and his, for serving our customers and connecting communities. We're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. 3rd and 1 for Jacksonville coming out of the Mount Pleasant timeout. Didi Mares in the backfield with Drew Dials. Handoff going to go to Didi up the middle. Going to pick up EAG forward first down yardage. So that'll move the chains. Now Jacksonville's going to take a timeout with 12 seconds remaining.
Have one left. Fans, stay with us. We'll have our All Smiles halftime interview with head coach Jason Holman. Jacksonville High School band coming off their superior rating. Is it Longview last week? Outstanding.
We also do have Mayor Randy Gorham joining us at halftime here in the booth.
The man who sponsors the stats.
We got the man himself tonight.
All right. Next week, Jacksonville hits the road going to Texarkana to play the #1 ranked Texas High Tigers. Off tonight. Around the district, Marshall is at Nacogdoches. And a huge game tonight in Hallsville as the White House Wildcats headed over to Hallsville. Hallsville needs a win. Boy, if they beat White House, that's going to really muck this thing up a lot as far as the 3rd and 4th place team. So coming out of the timeout by Mount Pleasant, 12 seconds. First down, Jacksonville. See if they take a couple of shots here with 12.
First and 10 for Jacksonville. Didi once again in the backfield with Drew Dials. Drew going to drop back. Throws this one downfield. It's high, almost picked off. 7 seconds remaining here before halftime. It's going to be second down.
I mean, that's a shot, if you want to call it that. Incomplete. So I'm certain Jacksonville here I'm certain. Wouldn't be surprised. That one could have been picked off. I don't know if you want to risk something right here. You're already giving up 2 defensive touchdowns. You don't want to do that here. So let's see if Jacksonville just plays it safe right here and just goes in at the half down 14-8.
Mares once again with Dials. Dials going to keep it himself around the left side. Going to be dropped inbounds, so that will do it for the first half of play. Mount Pleasant leads Jacksonville 14-8 at the half.
Stay with us. We'll get head coach Jason Holman in just a moment. He said he's got to talk to somebody real quick. So the Mount Pleasant drill team coming out now for their halftime performance. We'll get Coach Holman as he's visiting with one of his coaches here in just a moment. On senior night, last game of the season here at Tomato Bowl. Wild first half, Coach. Of the total 22 points on the board, 6 have been scored on by the offense, and defenses have been playing pretty good tonight. Your defense especially.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious is what we got to take care of. Can't turn the ball over, and that's what's cost us here in the first half as far as the lead's concerned.
But your offense has been a lot more diversified with Drew in there. I mean, you've been able to run the ball in the zone reads, and you can move the football, but it's a pretty fast Mount Pleasant defense.
Yeah, and, they're doing some things, just sending more than we can handle at times, hitting us in the backfield, so we got to get to the point where we're getting downhill. Where we're struggling is on first down. We're getting knocked back behind the chains and getting off track. We got to handle first down, have some positive production to get the drives going.
Your message at coming in and talking to your players here in a moment.
That's exactly that from an offensive standpoint. Handle first down, win first down. Let's get in front of the chains instead of behind them. And, defensively just keep playing like you're playing right now and, have the belief that, we got to get back in it. We got to kick off to them. We got to stop them, and then we got to take care of it offensively and get back in the game.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Head coach Jason Holman on the All Smiles halftime interview. Guys, toss it back to you with your special guest, the mayor.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it. Welcome into the Whataburger halftime report. You make the order, and Whataburger makes it fresh. And before we bring on Mayor Randy Gorham and take a look at some stats here for the first half, let's take a look at this week's Ask the Indians.
I don't watch scary movies. I don't know, The Exorcist? Yeah, Exorcist. Those, around those.
The commercials are scary. Chucky. Conjuring. Scream. 2. Yeah.
The Conjuring.
Chucky.
Yeah, Exorcist.
Chucky.
Conjuring.
I like Annabelle. Annabelle tough.
Jeepers
Annabelle and
I used to be scared of that.
Halloween.
Scooby-Doo.
Halloween. Halloween.
I haven't watched one in a long time, so I don't know.
I don't watch scary movies.
Jeepers
like that.
Creepers.
Jeepers
Creepers.
I'll say Chucky though if I had to pick one though. Chucky. Yeah,
Jeepers
Chucky.
Creepers.
Welcome into the booth for the Whataburger halftime report. We're joined by Mayor Randy Gorham. And Randy, we're really glad to have you with us here on the Whataburger halftime report. You're JHS class of 1977. You've been a CPA
you gave
since
that away.
1986. You're currently in your 6th year as Jacksonville mayor,
Correct.
and your term runs through 2026. I've also been told by Lee Traylor that you have the greatest hook set in the state of Texas.
Well, that could be true.
So if anyone watching is ever out fishing, make sure to keep an eye out for Mayor Gorham. And I want to thank you again for joining us tonight at halftime and for sponsoring our halftime and post-game statistics here on JISD Live. We do have a couple of things we want to talk to you about tonight. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and take a look at the first half stats.
That'd be great.
All right, so for the first half, our Indians passing Drew Dials, 4 completions on 11 attempts for 89 yards with 1 interception. Rushing, Dial has 14 carries for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. Dede has 5 carries for no yards in the first half. And the other guys all had negative yards in the first half.
Yeah, rushing was tough in the first half, except for Drew. I mean, he's added some deception to the Jacksonville offense, and it's been pretty good so far. But so far, I mean, Dede's at 0 yards on the game. When have we seen Dede at 0 yards in the first half of the season?
I think the first carry was a 3 or 4 yard loss, and then we didn't get any on the next couple, except just kind of getting back even. So yeah, maybe he'll find a chance to break one here in the second half. Receiving, Elijah Whitaker has 2 catches for 57 yards, and Dante Simmons has 1 catch for 35. And Dede had 1 catch for -3.
And those are some big pivotal catches there in the first half, too. Dante had the big one to kind of set the tone early, and then Zeke had 2 really big catches there. The one was on third and long.
We looked good throwing the ball at the beginning there.
Yeah. Just need to see a little more of that.
We might have caught him sleeping on that.
Potentially,
I
yeah.
would think. And they obviously hadn't had a chance to scout us, so Drew hadn't been playing. They didn't know if he was going to throw or what he was going to do, and so maybe we surprised them a little bit, and then they dropped back and got the interception, pick 6. So
yeah, it definitely looked promising to start the game. That's for sure. Do you want to quickly take a look at the Mount Pleasant stats from the first half? I mean, there's probably not a whole lot. Their touchdowns were both defensive.
They did not move the ball much. No, passing. Quarterback Carter Cook had 3 completions on 7 attempts for 28 yards and 1 interception. Rushing, Tony Grant, 6 carries for 15 yards. B.J. Brannon, 1 carry for no yards. And Carter Cook, 1 carry for -1. Receiving, B.J. Brannon, 1 catch for 19. Dexter King, 1 catch for 8. And Deuce Thompson, 1 catch for 1 yard. And that pretty well covers their offense.
That's not much.
Not much there.
You have the pick 6.
It's a total of 42 yards of offense for Mount Pleasant. I mean, so that looks really good for our defense.
Yeah, it does. Our defense has played great so far. I mean, we've seen, 1 pick 6 that the Mount Pleasant defense had, and we had a, fumble on a punt, and they scoop and score for their second touchdown. And that's really
when do you ever see that happen? I mean, that's a crazy play, but
not much. Yeah, especially KC's done a good job getting punts off this season. I mean, we've seen him, maybe fumble one and then able to pick it up, and there was one a couple weeks ago that was kind of wild that we thought we'd get back and then we didn't. But I mean. Yeah, the
snap was a little low, but he's
picked
had
it up
those
and he's
made the play, and
he's
just
trying to
didn't
get it
happen
off. And
time.
on that one, you just kind of have to take your medicine and hold on to the ball and go down and make sure that
fall on it if nothing else.
The worst thing that you can have happen is what happened there. So, but yeah, really good first half for the Jacksonville defense for sure. And I mean, the Jacksonville offense has looked much better with Drew Dials at quarterback. It's added some diversity. I mean, we've seen some fakes that we haven't seen with Trent Clater in there because he really wasn't running the ball at all. So it's been really good to see Drew.
I would recommend we remove the pitch from the second half.
Definitely.
That did not work very well there.
Not work
so
very
I don't know
well.
that that's Drew's play, right or left side. Either one. Yeah. We probably were lucky on the one going to the left. They called that incomplete because it was intended as a pitch. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's just great to see Drew back. I mean, we saw him a little bit last week coming off the injury, but he gets the start tonight, and so far, I mean, it's been his offense. He's played very well.
He has
played very well. All right, well. That's going to do it for our first half stats. I'd like to thank you for sponsoring our statistics. So now we do have a couple questions that we want to ask you about. So my first question for you is, what made you want to be the mayor of Jacksonville?
Well, it goes back probably 7 years ago. Dick Stone, a great friend of mine, and I were very involved in the Chamber of Commerce back then. And we had to get our hot budget approved by the city council back then. The hotel occupancy tax. So, and maybe I think he was the chairman of the chamber and I was the treasurer. So we went to a city council meeting and they turned it down for like the third time. So he and I were very professional. We left, and when we got outside the chambers, he said, Gorm, we need to get in here and fix this. I said, okay. How are we going to fix it? He says, I'm running for mayor. And I said, well, you know what, Dick, if you run for mayor, I'll run for council. And we'll just get in there and just fix this stuff, So this was like in October. Well, in January, when it came time to file, he calls me. He says, hey, you remember that city council meeting we went to? And I said, yeah. He said, we were pretty upset, weren't we? I said, yeah. He said, you still as mad as you were back in October? I said, not really. He said, well, I'm really not either. And I said, okay, so what are we going to do? And he said, well, if I run for mayor, I'll do that if you'll continue to run for council. And I said, sure, let's just go for it. I had no desire to get involved in city government or anything. So we both went over and filed together that day. We were both unopposed. So he served as the mayor for the 4 years that I was on the council, but then he built a home in Eagles Bluff. So I was probably the senior, other than Hubert Robinson, on the council at that point. Dick couldn't continue as mayor because he didn't live inside the city limits. So everybody kind of started looking at me like, I think you're the guy. So I thought, why not? So I ran. I didn't have an opponent, and got elected. And it's been a very rewarding thing. It really has.
And they conveniently moved City Hall right across the street from your office.
Yeah, but that had
Did they know that was coming?
No, they really did. I have been accused of that. Like, boy, you got that put together pretty. But no. But they did. It's very convenient. It truly is.
Whether that's you going across the street or them
James
coming over to
across.
you. Yes.
That's right. That's right. The thing I sign most is cemetery deeds, believe it or not. When somebody dies and they want to plot in the city cemetery, I have to sign a cemetery deed.
You have to sign it.
I probably sign more cemetery deeds than anything, being the mayor. But it's really a cool deal. It really is. I mean, I grew up here. I lived here all my life. And it was just, I felt like it was time to give back to our community in whatever capacity that could be, So it's been a great run the last 6 or 8 years. You've seen a lot of progress. Of course, I have to give that to our great city manager, James Hubbard, and our JEDCO president, Shane Pace. They're two young guys. Their theory is if we're standing still, we're getting behind because everybody else is moving forward. So they work great together, economic development, recruiting new businesses. You've seen the downtown. It's just been a big transformation. So
it has.
Very rewarding.
Yes.
It really has. And a lot of good stuff in the horizon to come. So.
And there's a term limit for mayor, right?
There is
3 terms?
3 3-year terms.
Okay.
Yeah. It used to be 3 2-year.
Oh, okay.
But there was no term limits for the city council. So in our charter had not been updated in about 25 years. So we put a charter committee together. Matt Montgomery served on it and changed that to where whether you're the mayor or the council, you could have 3 3-year terms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when the citizens voted for it, prior experience didn't count. So I kind of got a clean slate, and I got to start over.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could go another 2 3 years plus finish this term. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's a lot of fun. Pays real well.
It's we're about to get to that.
Okay.
I do want to say we do not have a Mount Pleasant band tonight, so I am going to go ahead and flip it around and talk to you so everyone can see the Twirlers. I believe the Charmers just performed, so sorry that we missed getting that to you guys. But we will leave it here for the Twirlers and the Fighting Indian Band while we continue to talk to Mayor Gorham.
Sure.
So mayors are an elected position that are unpaid, much like being on the school board.
Right, exactly.
How much time is necessary to be the mayor of Jacksonville?
You know, it varies from week to week. It really does. I mean, I probably spend more time the week prior to our council meetings.
Mm-hmm.
We have a workshop on a Thursday prior to our council meeting the following Tuesday. So there's a little preparation there. And then Tim McRae and I serve on our finance committee. By charter, we have to have a finance committee with Roxana Briley. She's our finance person. And we have meetings from time to time to discuss bond issues or investment policies and that kind of thing. I would probably say there's some weeks you might spend 4 or 5 hours a week.
Okay.
But I would probably say in a typical week, maybe a 2 hours maybe. It's not bad.
Not bad.
Especially since I'm so close to City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
There's no travel time. So that helps.
Very convenient there, yes.
Yeah, it really is. So that works out great.
So there's a lot of things that are going on around Jacksonville right now, including some new businesses that have opened recently.
Right.
Most prominently would probably be Braley's Ace Hardware that's
Correct.
just next to the overpass. So there's also some upcoming fall activities downtown. So what are some exciting things that are happening around Jacksonville right now?
Yeah, Brawley's is a great addition. We were super excited when they decided to take that old Capital One building and turn it into a great hardware store.
Because it had sat vacant for a while.
Years. Yeah, it really did. So, and it's a sales tax generating activity that we'll pick up some sales tax. Because it was vacant, and this isn't exact, but it was on the property tax rolls for probably $250,000 or $300,000, just nothing. And now, obviously, hopefully they'll move that back up. Plus, they'll have a lot of inventory that the city will benefit from, the school district will benefit from with property tax. So, yeah, Brawley's is a great addition. The parking lot that used to be Sesco, Southwestern Electric Service, that real ugly brown building on the corner, we've been after Encore to get rid of that thing. I've actually gone into it, and it's just horrible. They offered it to the city for $10, but it was in terrible condition, still is. Chock full of asbestos. So we sent a letter. We met the CEO of TXU, or Encore, at Texas Municipal League. So we penned a letter to her and just said, we got a lot of great things happening here in Jacksonville. We've tried to get that thing off dead center for years and years and years. Would you even entertain the thought of helping us abate the asbestos? And they did.
Oh, wow.
So they spent about $90,000 abating the asbestos, and then we bought it for the $10.
Then you took the 10. Okay.
Yeah, gave it to JEDCO, Jacksonville Economic Development. They're gonna tear it down and make a parking lot out of it.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because it's
we need parking
it's
downtown.
unrepairable.
So.
Yeah. Well, and there's just not much parking downtown.
There's
in
really
general.
not. No, that's true. So, and it, I was downtown today, this afternoon, or around lunchtime, and it was chock full parking. For the consumer, it's I think there's probably some upsetness. It's probably not a word. Because, gosh, I can't park in front of Miles Barbershop anymore.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it thrills my heart to see that there's no parking downtown because there's a lot of activity downtown now.
There's been a lot of development
There really
downtown,
has.
and I mean we did the sidewalk project.
That's right.
There's been quite a few things that have been
In
happening in the last several years.
Several restaurants have moved in.
Food
and it really,
table.
I feel like it really kind of brought a different vibe to downtown
I think
as
so
well.
Too. Yeah. And JEDCO is actually the one that funded that sidewalk project, and they agreed to get the plans drawn up to continue that sidewalk program all the way down to the Tomato Bowl.
Oh.
So they got about 60% planned completion at this point to kind of keep that same design all the way, the antique street lights, that kind of thing. I think the tranche that they did was like $1.5 million for concrete. Seems a lot, very expensive.
It does.
But
it really looks different.
It really
downtown.
does, yeah. So hopefully they'll put in the budget and partner with the city and probably help us. It may take 2 or 3 years, but our ultimate goal is to get that same look all the way down here to the Tomato Bowl. So
that'll be great. It'll make everything downtown look really cohesive as well, which will be nice.
Exactly. Of course, we got the Pumpkin House going now by Austin Bank through the.
Did that start last year?
Yeah,
or
I think
the year
last year.
before?
Last year could have been the first year.
Okay.
Yeah. In conjunction with the Jacksonville Arts Alliance, that's just a nonprofit that contributes to the arts. And then when the Pumpkin House is going to go down, I guess November 1st, and they're going to turn it into a lighted gingerbread house. And then Jedco graciously partnered with our group this year, and they're hiring a company out of Tyler, and they're going to wrap all the street lamps and the trees downtown with the little bitty lights that you see. It'll look like something that you might see in McKinney or Frisco. So that's going to be a really neat deal.
Oh, wow.
That'll be really
neat. Yeah. And then we're going to have a downtown event. I think, don't hold me to it, I think it's December 21st. It's a Saturday, to where there'll be a come home for Christmas and have a lot of activities down there, similar to maybe the National Night Out that we just had with the police department. So
I thought that was a big success.
Oh,
there were a
was
lot
huge.
of people down there.
Yeah, huge success. So
I think there's also a trunk or treat next
Trunk or
week.
treats, that's right. It's coming. That's that used to be, and it still probably is, put together by the Chamber of Commerce. But I think the Hope probably has taken that over, and they say there's just thousands of kids come down there for to trick or treat.
That's what I've heard.
You know, back in the day when we were kids, you just went through the neighborhoods,
Right.
And that may or may not be a good thing to do now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a great thing. It really is.
Yeah, it definitely is. I haven't been to the trunk or treat the last several years, but I mean,
Right.
I think basically any event that happens downtown right now, I mean, you're having a really good turnout for
Yeah,
it,
we
which is
really
good to
are.
see.
Yeah, and if we can get the retailers, and they're cooperating to stay open during that time to have more traffic, I think that'll help.
I'm sure that will help some of their businesses as well to
I
have
think
that big of an influx of people downtown at one time.
I think it really will. So that's good. We got a lot of new, good, exciting stuff in the future that if we can all put it together, you'll see some more good stuff downtown.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We've got, and this is no hidden secret because it was in a public forum, but we've got a Austin, I think he said an Austin developer has got an offer on the chunk of land where Tradewinds Motel sits.
Oh.
All the way to Nature Street to take that whole thing between Chick-fil-A and Starbucks and just doze it.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And then the developer's got 2 major, probably national restaurant type people that are interested.
Oh.
If they can get the money right.
Oh.
But
not quite a done deal yet.
No, it's not, because he needs a return on his investment. Of course, the landowners, they're excited, so the price may be a little too high at this point. This is the 3rd one that we've taken a run at, and it's just there's 4 different property owners.
Oh,
try
wow.
to get on the same
trying to
page.
get everybody together.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that makes it difficult, but it's they're in the 120-day look phase to
Oh.
try to get the numbers to work. So I don't know if we'll get it, they say, across the finish line, but I think everybody's working real hard to get that done.
That's great.
So yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Yeah, it really.
Has the Tradewinds Motel operated in?
It's
No,
operating.
it's still
It's still operating?
Yeah,
Okay.
it really is. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Maybe I didn't know that.
No.
You haven't stayed there lately, but yes, it's still open.
I haven't had a reason to
And that's
stay
a good
there.
thing. I think that's a real good thing. Yeah. But you know, back in the day when I was a kid, it was a really nice hotel, and I can remember the stars of the rodeo would stay over there.
Okay.
And you
I've
could
read that.
actually
Michael Landon,
Yeah.
we had the first one was there.
And they had a plaque on the door that said, little Festus Parker slept here,
Oh,
type
wow.
thing. Yeah. It's really a neat deal, but it's old. So it'll be good. to replace that right there on South Jackson Street.
Oh, yeah.
For
Really
sure.
would.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've got a pretty big election. I know you're not on the ballot for this one, but
right.
early voting started October 21st and runs through November 1st, with Election Day being November 5th.
Right.
Now, we're not going to get into any politics
Okay.
right now, but
No, that's fine.
I do believe it is important for everyone to exercise their right to
Yes.
vote as an American
I do
citizen.
too.
And, there's more people on the ballot than just who's running for president. You got local
Right.
elections, you got state elections.
Right.
So where exactly is voting taking place here in town for those who may not know?
Yeah, it's at the public library, which is just right across the street from the Tomato Bowl. And in fact, I went over there yesterday. I drove by a few minutes after 5 going home, and I thought, hey, there's not a line. I'll stop and vote. Well, they closed at 5. That's why there wasn't a line. So, but yeah, I think they open, I'm going to guess it, 8 to 5 at this point. So yeah, everybody needs to get out and vote. They always say if you don't vote, you can't gripe. So
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
So.
We were downtown yesterday about lunchtime and looked like a pretty good flow of people going in there to vote.
Oh, I
So
think
hopefully good turnout this time.
No, I really do. I'll be glad when it's over. It's not for the city, just for
The whole
all the
thing.
junk you see on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
Too many commercials right now. So let's.
Oh, there really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard a stat today where probably each party has spent over $1 billion.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
I've heard those kind of numbers. And
And I get to thinking, we got kids in our JISD that they're on free or reduced lunch. I mean, isn't there a better
What could we
use
have
of
done
that
with that money? Yes. Yes.
Than to just put trash on TV.
Apparently, I need to make political commercials or something, because there's a bunch of money in that. I guess.
Somebody's racking it up right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well,
so before we finish out,
oh,
halftime,
okay. He's got one more thing.
How's the fishing?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I went down to the coast. I mean, that's what I love to do. I love to bass fish, but I like the redfish, too.
Redfish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went down there and caught quite a few redfish. Yeah. I had a trip planned to go to Mexico. I've been to Mexico 9 times fishing with Dr. Michael Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And the outfitter called us about a week before we were supposed to go, and we fly into Mazatlan, and they pick us up at the airport, and then they take us to either Lake Picachos or El Salto, and we were going to El Salto, which is in the country or county of Sonora, and that's kind of where all the drug people hang out.
Oh.
And they called us and said, I'm really sorry, but the cartel is fighting and killing people about an hour from the lodge over fentanyl. Who's controlling the fentanyl flow to the United States?
They're not safe to come right now.
And they said, we closed the lodge down. Y'all
my
cannot
goodness.
come. So I think
I appreciate the call. Yes.
I did.
Yes.
I thanked her, and I said, man, you have no idea how much I appreciate this. I do not need to be duct taped to a tree down here. So we'll get to go back. But
White guy might kind of stand out down there, huh?
Yeah, with probably in a van and a bunch of cash to tip the guys.
Right, yes.
So yeah, we don't need to be in the fentanyl trade. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's that's probably not the place you want to be
No,
right
it's
now.
really
Probably
not.
much better to be in the Tomato Bowl on Friday night
Yes.
right now. Than in
I
Mexico.
think I'm fairly safe right here in this room.
Oh man!
Yeah.
All right, well, Randy, we really appreciate you coming on and joining us at halftime.
Absolutely. You bet.
That was
Anytime.
It was a lot of fun. We've got,
Jacksonville's a great place to live.
it definitely is. Yeah.
You went to high school here, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you probably did too.
Ryan did
so.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of like it here.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So before we close,
Yes, sir.
you want to recruit people to run for mayor when you decide your time's up?
If that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to take it over.
I know they're just standing in line, aren't they?
They really
Kind
are.
of take their pick, kind of like school boards.
When I first decided to do this, Cheryl, my wife, she says, Randy, are you going to buy signs? And of course, some of the people in the office said, man, let's get T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I have not spent a penny on any election whatsoever. I've lived here all my life. Hopefully you know who I am. If you think I can do a good job, vote for me. If another person gets it, man, I'll show them the ropes and bless them.
Right.
So I've just been very fortunate to have been able to serve our city all these years. Kind of like the school boards. Probably there are times that it's like, man, why did I do this? But I think the rewarding times far outweigh those bad times.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a pretty cool deal. Pretty
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're almost over halftime here. We got about a minute and a half left, so let's take a short break before we begin the second half play. This has been the Whataburger Halftime Report, and we'll see you guys in just a moment for the third quarter.
For the first day of school, for the last day of work, for the satisfaction of a job well done, for the ideas that change the world, for good times, for not so good times, for her future and hers and his, for serving our customers and connecting communities. We're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Dr. Darwin Dar and his staff at Dar Chiropractic specialize in family chiropractic care, exercise rehab, digital x-rays, nutrition and weight loss programs, decompression, and chiropractic wellness care. Located down the street from the Tomato Bowl, Dar Chiropractic. They can help you feel better.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. Jacksonville just making their way out of the tunnel. We are just about set to go here for the second half of play. Matt, did you look at any halftime scores for any games around the district?
I did. It's Marshall's, having their way with Nacogdoches. I think it's 35-0 at the half. Pretty good game over in Hallsville. White House 28-17 at the half. Of course, Texas High is the one district team that is off tonight, so that's a big game over in Hallsville. But the Bobcats are still in it at the half, 28-17 White House. Really enjoyed y'all's interview with our mayor, Randy Gorham.
I was glad you got to listen to it.
Yeah, it was really good. Good questions. I learned a lot about what's happening in Jacksonville. I guess I need to go to the city council meetings to hear some of this stuff. But, that's some really great things going on in our city, and I appreciate Randy and serving. And I heard the question about I heard Randy talking about his wife, Cheryl, and that's the thing. The mayor, people talk about, man, the mayor, that's a tough job and everything. Hey, it's tougher on the wife sometimes to be that. So, and appreciate her allowing or dealing with, however way you want to say it, Randy being the mayor, because that's not an easy position. So appreciate that. Great interview. You guys did a wonderful job. Learned a lot. It was great having Randy on. So we're set to go. Third quarter about to start here at Tomato Bowl. Final home game of the year. 14-8 Mount Pleasant with 2 defensive touchdowns. Jacksonville with a 2-point safety and a touchdown. Here's the kickoff. KC doing it. Here's Ryan.
KC going to boot this one deep left. It's going to be fielded about the 5. Jacksonville able to make the tackle. Mount Pleasant gets out to about the 25-yard line, so they'll take over 1st and 10 to start the third quarter.
Well, I think if you're an offensive person, this has not been a very enjoyable game for you. But if you're a defensive guy, this has been the game you love. A couple of turnovers, a pick 6, a safety by your defense scoop and score. Offenses have both struggled tonight, Mount Pleasant and Jacksonville, as we start this third quarter. Let's see if they made some adjustments in this second half. Here's the quarterback, the junior, Carter Cook. for Mount Pleasant.
Cook in the backfield alongside Tony Grant. Low snap. Cook able to bring it up. Deuce Thompson on the reception for Mount Pleasant.
Catches the ball right at the line of scrimmage, and Zeke came up and thought Zeke was going to get him right there, just whiffed on him. Got to break down right there and make that tackle. He missed it, so there's about a 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3 for Mount Pleasant. Both teams with one win coming into the game would definitely, both teams feel like they can get win number 2 tonight. It's a close one.
2 receivers right, 1 left for the Tigers. Cook going to fire this one out. Pass complete to Dexter King, but McGowan quickly in on the tackle. Is going to lose a couple. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Nice reaction by McGowan. Once he saw the quarterback Cook come up, he started sprinting up the field and just smoked the receiver King. So 3rd down, 5 to go for Mount Pleasant.
Grant in the backfield alongside Carter Cook. 2 receivers each way for the Tigers on 3rd and 5. Cook rolling to his left. Nothing there.
Oh, yeah.
Big tackle from Calvin Boyd.
Big Calvin Boyd. He is really playing some good defensive line in the last couple of weeks. Remember last week he's the one that ran down and recovered that fumble that Drew Dials caught from his tight end position. Got all the way down the field from his offensive guard position. And he plays.
Yeah, that was a heck of a hustle on that play from Calvin Boyd.
And he got it and kept the possession for Jacksonville, and then you saw it right there defensively with a huge sack of the quarterback. 4th down, 13. Mount Pleasant goes 3 and out here. They're punting.
Gerardo Chavez in to punt this one away on 4th and long for Mount Pleasant. Pretty good boot got into this one. Brendan Richards makes a man miss. Pretty good pickup there with not much room to run for Brendan Richards. So Jacksonville will take over 1st and 10 from their own 45.
Mount Pleasant's Adam King got down there first, and he's coming off the field with looks like a shoulder injury. Was able to come off under his own power, but he made the first contact with Brendan, and Brendan shook him off. Gets up the field for a decent return. So Jacksonville with their first offensive possession of this 3rd quarter. See what kind of adjustments Jacksonville made, because on Mount Pleasant's first possession, that did not go well for the Tigers.
And Jacksonville with the only offensive touchdown so far tonight. And we'll see how they answer here to start their first drive of the second half. Drew Dials going to fake the handoff to Didi Mares. Nothing there. He's going to lose 1 on the play.
Jacksonville just couldn't get that block right there. Mike Taylor, his guy number 5 right there, Zai Woodard of Mount Pleasant, gets Drew in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. I mean, I like the play call. I like the way that, the fluid of the offense as far as the zone read, but Mount Pleasant is just close. The offensive line is just not holding their blocks long enough tonight. Mount Pleasant is just doing a great job getting off those blocks.
Drew Dials going to hand this one off to Didi. Big run here for Didi Mares. Going to pick up 9.
Well, that's his first big run of the night for 9. At 0 yards in the first half. That has not happened in 2024 with any of Jacksonville's opponents, but give Mount Pleasant credit. They shut Didi down in the first half, but he picks up 9 right there to make it 3rd down and 2 for Jacksonville with the football just inside the 50 in Mount Pleasant territory at the 48.
Didi Mares into positive yardage tonight on offense. Drew Dials able to bring down the high snap, gets the EAG forward 1st down and a little more, gets it out to the Mount Pleasant 40-yard line.
Yeah, when you have to go up and snatch it up over your head like that, it certainly slows down the play as far as it developing, but not for Drew that time. He snatched it right back down and gets up the field and picks up Jacksonville's first EAG forward 1st down here in this 3rd quarter.
I'm not sure if that was the design play there either. I think Drew may have just had a really heads-up play, realizing, oh, there's a lot of space for me to run. Gets the EAG forward 1st down. He's going to keep it himself.
Oh.
on first down. Nothing there. He's going to lose one.
I just can't say enough how difficult it's been tonight between the tackles for Jacksonville. We talked about the size of Mount Pleasant, 275, 300, 240, 305. How has this team lost just one game with this defense out? They're physical.
And they're fast, too.
Yeah, they're fast.
So 2nd and 11 now for Jacksonville. Dede in the backfield alongside Dials. Drew going to keep it himself, trying to find some room up the middle. Nothing there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, good thing he didn't give it off to Dede because Dede got smoked. And so did Drew, actually. This is the toughest defensive line assignment for this Jacksonville offensive line, a line that has blocked so well this year. This has been a real struggle for them tonight, running the football against this D-line of Mount Pleasant.
3rd and 11. Dials dropping back, looking for Dante. That one a little short.
He was there. Good route. Turned around.
He was, and Jordan McGowan there was completely uncovered going across the middle as well.
Yep, like the drag route. I like that call. Drew just didn't see him. So here comes KC to punt. Fighting Indians did get at least one first down. As both defenses just continuing to shut down the other's offense.
So 4th and 11. KC in to punt this one away for the Indians. Good snap back to him, catches this one. Low punt to the right side. Mount Pleasant going to step up, field it. Jacksonville quickly down in coverage and gets them inside their own 15.
Great coverage by Jacksonville.
There's a flag down on the play, it looks like, Matt.
Let's see the officials now. Usually that's a push in the back or a hold on the return team. So the football was tackled at the 14 of Mount Pleasant. That was B.J. Brannon, their 5'9", 175-pound sophomore. Officials still in the huddle talking about things.
Had some long discussions tonight about some of these calls.
Well, as I said a minute earlier, this is the same crew that the Mike Jones crew that we had 2 weeks ago against White House, and there was a lot of discussions in that game too. Some discussions that we didn't like the result of, but that's the way it goes. So let's see the call here. Slowly making their way out. Okay, come on, turn around, make the call. He's still looking at his friends there.
During the play, we have an unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 14, Jacksonville.
Unsportsmanlike on Elijah Harris. They're going to mark it from the spot where the tackle was made at the 14.
First UNS for this game.
Okay. Personal foul on Elijah.
After the personal foul, Mount Pleasant will take over 1st and 10 from their 28-yard line.
28-yard line for Mount Pleasant.
2 receivers each way to start this drive for the Tigers. Grant in the backfield alongside Carter Cook. Handoff goes to him up the middle.
Gasket and Elijah on the tackle to Tony Grant on the handoff, and he'll pick up at least 7 right there. Yeah, that's what they're going to call 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
He's brought down by number 11, Joshua Gaskin. Gain of about 6 yards, brings up 2nd and 4 from their own 35-yard line.
So 2nd and 3. 2 receivers each way for the Tigers. As the train horn blares in the background. Handoff goes to Grant. Fighting for some yardage. Gets around the end. Finally taken down, but good for first down yardage.
Well, great job by Mike Taylor of Jacksonville, the defensive tackle. He was right there in the hole. he just couldn't catch him. I mean, he played great technique, got off the block, and Grant was face-to-face with Mike Taylor of Jacksonville, and he just skipped around him up the field for the first down. Can't fault the effort of Taylor. He just couldn't catch the speedy Grant of Mount Pleasant.
It's 1st and 10 for Mount Pleasant from their own 45. Grant in the backfield with Cook. Cook gets the snap, looking to his left, finds his man. Brought down by Michael Miles, going to pick up about 4.
Well, Jacksonville has really improved on that hot route pass. You remember how they struggled with it a couple of weeks ago against White House, and last week against Marshall, and tonight so far they've covered it really well. I mean, of course, White House was doing it more of a NASCAR thing, and Jacksonville just wasn't set. They were catching Jacksonville defensively off kilter.
Their offense was very quick. They would have already run 2 plays in the time it's taken Mount Pleasant to get set for this one.
Exactly.
So 2nd and 6 now for the Tigers. 3 trips right, 1 left. Cook going to keep it himself up the middle, has some room to run. Zeke able to bring him down, but big first down yardage for Mount Pleasant.
Well, that's the first time Carter Cook has gotten free. And then, coming into the ball game, he is the guy he's been the zone read guy for Mount Pleasant this year. And he's just been unable to get on track tonight. He did that time. He gets a big first down as we go under 4 minutes in this third quarter. First down at the Jacksonville 34.
Cook looking to the left side. This one caught by Deuce Thompson. McGowan in coverage brings him down at the 1.
McGowan was step for step with him. He just got out-fought for the football.
So it'll be 1st and goal for Mount Pleasant from the Jacksonville 1, nearing the 3.5-minute mark already here in the third.
Boy, a good throw by Cook. He dropped a dime down there and gave his receiver a chance to fight for the ball again. Jacksonville's McGowan was right there, just didn't get up and contest it. So 1st and goal, Mount Pleasant.
Tony Grant in the backfield with Carter Cook. 1 receiver each way for the Tigers. Cook going to keep it himself around the left side. Not much there. A couple Indians make the tackle, so it'll be 2nd and goal.
Number 9, Cook on the quarterback keeper, brought down by number 85, Ty Lindsay, short of
pretty much just a design play for the quarterback to get his shoulders around like he's going to throw, and then if he sees any kind of gap, get up in that gap, and Jacksonville closed it down, so 2nd and goal at the 1.
This has been a fast-moving third quarter.
Whoa, hadn't it?
2:40 remaining here in the third. 2nd and goal for Mount Pleasant. Cook going to hand this one off to Grant up the middle, and he's in for the score.
Just a power play behind his right guard, and there's a flag after the play. Looks like it's going to be Jacksonville getting the personal foul. The way it's looking, Mike Miles really upset about something. Can't have that. They'll mark that one on the kickoff, I'm sure. Yep, it's going to be Michael. Official telling Coach Holman now who the personal foul's on, and I kind of knew who that was. I could see who it was on immediately.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 30, Jacksonville. It's a 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickover. The result of the play is a touchdown. That's number 30's first UNS for this game.
Tony Grant gets in for the score. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So we'll see what Mount Pleasant decides to do here. It looks like they're going to keep their offense on the field.
Going for 2 here. Well, because Jacksonville's got the 8 points, right? So that's why they're doing this.
Cook going to pitch it to Grant. Jacksonville has him stopped short of the goal line. 2-point conversion, no good. Mount Pleasant leads Jacksonville 20-8. So we'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
For the first day of school. For the last day of work. For the satisfaction of a job well done. For the ideas that change the world. For good times. For not so good times. For her future and hers and his. For serving our customers and connecting communities. We're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Since 2004, Legends Old Time Burger Cafe has been the home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburgers. Hand-battered chicken strips, chicken fried steak, fries, and onion rings are the best around. Legends, home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburger.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. 2:25 here left in the third quarter. Mount Pleasant leads Jacksonville 20-8. And after the personal foul penalty, Mount Pleasant going to kick off from the Jacksonville 45.
Yeah, you better be alert right here for Jacksonville. They're going to try something here maybe. There it is.
Onside kick comes in. Jacksonville first to it.
Dorsey.
I believe Jordan Dorsey just trapped that between his legs.
He did. What a play by Dorsey. That was a hot football, a hard one to get, just end over end, and it just went right between his legs. He didn't give it up either.
Yeah, great job there from Jordan Dorsey coming up with that ball.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that if you're Mount Pleasant?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
The worst case is right there where you give it to us at our 34.
So should I wave the band off right here from playing so loud when our offense is down here? What are they doing? Oh, wow.
Drew Dials going to hand this one off to Didi.
It's just not happening.
It is not working tonight for Didi Mares.
It is not happening. I mean, it is almost like there isn't an offensive line for Jacksonville up there. That's how quick Mount Pleasant is getting to the football. I mean, Didi just barely got the handoff, and there was two guys all over him. So second down, second and 15. Now you get behind the chains here.
Second and long here for the Indians. Empty backfield. Drew Dials dropping back.
Oh.
This one picked off by Deuce Thompson. Brought down by Didi Mares. But another interception for Mount Pleasant's defense.
Just threw it up there. And, you know, it's an experience thing. This is Drew's first year to play quarterback. And you know,
he's only had a couple games.
Yeah, he hadn't played much, you know, so getting coached up by head coach Jacob Owen there. Owen's just talking him up here, trying to keep his head in the game as Mount Pleasant will get the football at the Jacksonville 25. And, man, this has been a tough night for your defense if you're Jacksonville. You've played pretty dang good, and you're about to go down 3 scores regardless of how well you've played. That's tough.
Cook looking to his right.
Yeah.
Flags come in. McGowan needed to turn around for that ball. Runs smooth over Dexter King. So we're going to have a pass interference call here.
Well, it'll be put at the 15-yard line. It'll be a 10-yarder from the line of scrimmage. So McGowan, as you said, Ryan, just didn't turn around. All he has to do is get his head around. Once he sees the receiver flash those hands, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, you've got to get your head around. And he just ran over the receiver. Good call by the official. Actually, it's going to move it to the 15, excuse me.
No, it's moving it to the 10.
10, 15 yards. It's a 15-yarder at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be first and goal here for Mount Pleasant.
I was trying to call that a 10-yarder. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Trips left, one right. Grant in the backfield with Cook.
Cook looking to his right, finds his man, and Dexter King in for the touchdown.
Just a quick hot route, and McGowan had a tough series right there. He got the PI, and this right there, King scores on him, and picking on the sophomore, that's what you do. You find the young guys and you go after them, and that's what head coach Joe Kalili of Mount Pleasant said. I'm going to find the young players back there, and I'm going after them, and he did.
Number 97, Alberto Avilla.
So Avilla on to attempt the extra point. Extra point's brought to you by our friends at Neighbors Coffee. Snap is back. Kick from Avila is up and good. So Mount Pleasant makes it 27-8 after the score. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Come see us at Dairy Queen on South Jackson before or after every Fightin' Indian game to try our family favorites meal. Dairy Queen, where happy tastes good.
Since 1953, Hubert Glass Oil has been servicing the Texas market with the finest quality fuels and lubricants. Each batch is crafted with precision and quality tested by our in-house lab. Whether you're on the road, on the farm, or on the job, we have the right product for your needs. Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. Minute 12 here left in the third quarter. Mount Pleasant takes a 27-8 lead over Jacksonville. Avilla, deep kick, going to go into the end zone. Jacksonville going to let this one go out for a touchback, so they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 25.
Well, the speed at which this second half is going right here, I mean, you're down 3 scores here. You got to score in this drive, and it can't be some 5 or 6 minute long drive right here. So that's going to require Jacksonville to pull out some stuff and maybe have a couple of those Zeke Whitaker type catches they had in the first quarter.
I mean, you're going to have to have something like that because you've got to be able to move the ball quickly. You're down 3 scores now. You got to do whatever it takes to win this game, or at least get back in it where you got a chance to win it at the end of the fourth quarter.
Well, you don't have time. I mean, there's 1:12 remaining in the third, and you're down 3 scores, and this methodical running offense that Jacksonville's had all year, they're going to have to do something bigger than that.
Drew Dials going to hand it off to Dede on first down. Nothing there for Dede. It's going to be 2nd and 10. No gain on the play.
Of course, you also have to consider, if you are going to throw the football, be careful throwing it over the middle, the little short hot routes. They're jumping the routes. They picked off, 3 tonight? And you've got to take care of the football if you're Drew Dials, and you've got to throw vertical downfield. If you're going to throw across the field, you're going to have to put some meat on. You're going to put some speed on it because they're coming to pick it off.
2 receivers left, 1 right for the Indians. Dede in the backfield with Drew Dials. Drew and letting this one fly. And it is picked off by Shane Watkins. Finally brought down by Isaac Suarez Mosley.
A late flag after the play. You're going to get one of the Jacksonville offensive linemen for a shove down after the play, just in frustration. Not a bad throw by Drew. The only bad thing was their safety was playing center field back there, and he just circled under it like a vulture, and he snatched it out of the air. And again, Drew throwing off his back foot, had pressure. I just wonder how far Drew can throw the football when he can actually plant and throw. He's thrown everything tonight off his back foot. And I just wonder, that because Zeke had the guy beat, but when it hung up there like that, boy, the safety came over, it was easy.
During the return, block in the back by number 6.
Got a block in the back.
It's a 10-yard penalty for me on the run. First down.
So I was wrong.
Block in the back on Mount Pleasant.
Yep. I just saw a flag come down and a Mount Pleasant guy flying, and Jacksonville was standing around like, oh, now what? And it was against Mount Pleasant. goes the other way.
So that'll back Mount Pleasant up 10, so they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 41. Mount Pleasant going to start this drive with a 2-back set. 2 receivers left, 1 right for the Tigers. Looks like that is B.J. Brannon and Tony Grant in the backfield. Grant goes in motion. Cook going to hand this one off to Brannon. Nothing there. Immediately met by Jordan Dorsey.
Dorsey and Boyd just closed the hole quickly.
Loss of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11. 20 seconds remaining here in the 3rd.
Yeah, if you're Mount Pleasant right here, you just – the clock's not running. Rodney Kelly, hello. What are you doing? Rodney. The clock, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, they're just content just to run this thing out, man. I mean, they got another quarter to go, but they're going to take their time. Why wouldn't you? Up 3
They
scores.
don't even have to snap it here, but they do. Direct snap goes to Grant. Grant around the left side, brought down inbounds, but that's going to do it for the end of the 3rd quarter. Mount Pleasant leads Jacksonville 27-8. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Gene Bromlow, class of 66, and his daughter Ann Farmer proudly support Jacksonville athletics. Come on over to the South Jackson Dairy Queen and get one of their world-famous blizzards. Dairy Queen, where happy tastes good.
Tonight's game statistics are sponsored by Randy Gorham, CPA. Randy Gorham, CPA, the source for your accounting and income tax needs since 1984.
For the first day of school, for the last day of work, for the satisfaction of a job well done, for the ideas that change the world, for good times, for not so good times, for her future and hers and his, for serving our customers and connecting communities. We're here with you for good. Austin Bank, with you for good.
Passing the competition by leaps and bounds. The team of world-class specialists at Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute are experts in caring for bones, joints, and muscles. In addition to treatment, they also provide special programs designed to keep you in optimal shape and improve athletic performance. So whether you're a student athlete or a weekend warrior, they'll keep you at the top of your game. Christus Orthopedics and Sports.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl for the start of the 4th quarter. Mount Pleasant with a 3rd and 4. Handoff faked by Cook, looking downfield. Has his man, B.J. Brannon, on the reception and in for the touchdown.
Well, Harrison Penn just got turned around and lost the football, and B.J. Brannon just settles under it, had his back to the end zone, catches it, turns around, scoots in untouched. Yeah, I thought Mount Pleasant would just be content. 3rd down 4, just running the football and getting a first down. They've been running it well, and they go deep on you. So a game that was so promising, guys, at the end of the 1st quarter, it just got ugly in a hurry. Very fast.
Alberto Avila in to attempt the extra point, brought to you by our friends at Neighbors Coffee. This one is up and good. So Mount Pleasant takes a 34-8 lead with 11:50 left to play. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
We'd like to thank this week's team meal sponsor, the East Rusk Dairy Queen across from the Tomato Bowl. Thank you for your valued support of Jacksonville athletics.
Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Stocks, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl. Mount Pleasant takes a 34-8 lead over Jacksonville with 11:50 left to play.
Well, this game got ugly quick. I mean, it was just a 4 or 5 minute span there where it just, this third quarter, the third quarter, we're in the fourth quarter now, just started. That third quarter was just a disaster for Jacksonville. They always seem to have that one quarter, y'all, that just blows up the game for them.
Avila going to boot this one deep. It's going to be fair caught by Dante Simmons, so that ball will come out 1st and 10 for Jacksonville from the 25.
Well, let's see if Jacksonville can do something offensively here and to make this look respectable. I mean, it's obviously with 11:50 to go in the ball game, down 34-8. Winning the game at this point is that's probably not in the cards with that many scores you have to have. But just keep playing hard, and that's something Jacksonville has done this year. They've played hard all the way to the end of the ball game. They haven't quit any game that I can remember.
Man in motion is Suarez Mosley. He's quickly swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Another jet sweep that lost yardage. That's been happening since the game started. I think a minute ago or earlier, Ryan, you were saying that, if that play hasn't been successful, I mean, maybe they think they could block it differently. They went at the half and saw something, but that one didn't work. Loss of 2.
DD checks back into the game. Zeke makes his way to the sideline. One receiver each way for the Indians. Dials going to fake the handoff, keep it himself, trying to find some room around the left side. Nothing there. He's going to lose another 3. It's going to be 3rd and 15 now for Jacksonville.
And you just going wide on Mount Pleasant is just I can't remember one play tonight that Jacksonville's been able to turn the corner and get on that edge and get up the field. Their yardage on the run has been the zone reads where Drew got up on the tackles and Dede popped one for 9 earlier off tackle, but that wide stuff, there hasn't been a successful play tonight for that.
So 3rd and 15 now for Jacksonville. Dials going to give it to Dede around the right side. Not a whole lot there for Dede. He's going to get about 6. We'll see where they spot him, but it's still going to be 4th and long.
Of course, clearly Jacksonville right there, 3rd and 15. You run that play right there. You're just still not comfortable with, throwing the football right there. I mean, you think that's a passing down, but they ran the power play that they've had a lot of success with this year, except for tonight. Now on 4th and 8, Jacksonville's going to give the ball up again.
Correction, that's number 1.
So KC in to punt this one away on 4th down for the Indians. Good snap back to KC. Gets this one off down the right side.
What a
Hits,
bounce.
takes a great bounce. And Jacksonville going to let this one roll out. It's going to be down at the Mount Pleasant 21. So a good punt there from KC. I thought that was going out of bounds. It took a crazy hop, and he got another 20 yards out of it.
Yeah, he's really got something about those sidelines where he knows how to turn it over, where it does look like it's going out of bounds. It was coming right toward me. Boy, it had that hop and went straight down the sidelines perfectly.
That was a 53-yard punt there for KC.
Very nice. So Mount Pleasant, looks like they're bringing another quarterback in here. An odd number, Donnie Blunt, number 27.
Handoff goes to Grant up the middle. Pretty good pickup there for Tony Grant. Going to get the first down for the Tigers.
Grant's a scooter. He's their leading rusher, and you can see why. Quarterback has quite the brace on his left knee, and I think that's the young man. Well, we'll talk about it after this play.
Blunt in the shotgun alongside Grant. The handoff is going to go to Grant. No gain on the play. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's that number 27 that's leaving the field to play quarterback. He was injured several games ago. He was wearing another number, and they had to cut his jersey off. And I'm not sure with that. You see that left brace that he has, it seems kind of limping a little bit. I'm not sure that that's the case, but you don't see a number 27 at quarterback very much unless you're playing for the Plano Wildcats, who traditionally have a number 20-something at quarterback. I don't think that's his regular number, this guy that's taking snaps. 2nd and 10.
2 receivers right, 1 left for the Tigers. A little miscommunication there between Blunt and the running back. He flips this one out to Jaden Lowen. Going to pick up a couple.
Well, you're right. He kind of got bumped a little bit, and then he whipped it out there.
He did. I think that was Juemil Lewis, number 21, that was in the backfield, and he came running like he was getting the handoff. He came in with a full head of steam and ran straight in to Donnie Blunt.
Yeah, Blunt is not – that's not Donnie Blunt. I know that's what we got to call him because he's 27. He's not 5'5", 145 because that's what's on the roster as Donnie Blunt. This is another young man. I don't know his name. I don't know what – he has that jersey on. Oh, lost the ball. I think he's the backup quarterback that was injured that Jason Holman told me that they had to cut his jersey off and he's going to be wearing another number, but unfortunately I didn't take good enough notes to – write that down, but that's not Blunt. But nevertheless, it's going to be 4th down, and Mount Pleasant will punt the football. Jacksonville doesn't have anybody back right now because, yeah, they do. There goes Zeke. Brendan Richards, the normal punt returner, he's on the bench right now, injured. Not sure if he's coming back. So it'll be Zeke dropping back to receive this punt by Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant able to get the punt off. Pretty good roll. Jacksonville content to let them down this one. And Mount Pleasant going to down it at the Jacksonville 25.
I'm not sure he was going to ever get that punt off.
I almost thought Chavez was just going to take it
and I thought
run
he was
for a second
faking
there.
it. I thought he was faking it on 4th and 13, but he ended up punting the ball. So 6:05 remaining, and
I am not seeing another quarterback listed on their roster.
Yeah, I don't either. I see Cook is the only one that they have listed. But 27 it says Donnie Blunt, 5'5", 145. That guy back there at quarterback is about 6'1", about 175, 180. So I'm not sure who that is. Anyway, here's Jacksonville 1st down.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Dial's going to hand this one off to Dede. Goes up the middle. Pretty good pickup there for Dede. Going to get about 7.
Well, you really want Dede to get that 1,000 yards. I mean, it's been a disappointing year for Jacksonville, and
Oh, definitely. That would be a big highlight to take away from this season for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the first time in 18 years that you've had a running back with 1,000 yards, but that's because of the spread offense and everybody throwing the ball around a lot more than running the ball.
Yeah, Dede's currently at 18 yards on the night. Dial's going to hand it off to Dede once again. Pretty good run once again for Dede. Going to pick up the yardage for an EAG for 1st down and move the sticks.
Well, 5 minutes to go. Just keep feeding him and maybe give him a chance to get it next week against Texas High.
Yeah, it's going to be tough next week, though. You got Texas High, number 1 ranked team in the state. It's going to be the toughest test that Jacksonville's faced all season.
And they're coming off a bye week.
They are, yeah.
Which getting everybody healthy.
Which doesn't help. So 1st and 10 for the Indians. Empty backfield for Drew Dials. Drew going to send a man in motion, keep it himself, trying to find a hole. There's not much there. Looks like he gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Indians.
Brings up
Mike Taylor checks in for Jamario Coleman. Gaskin comes back in at the H-back. Zeke will check out. So 2nd and 10. As we'll be at the 4-minute mark of the 4th quarter after this play.
Dials going to hand it off to Didi. Finds some room around the right side. Big run for Didi Mares. Gets out of bounds. That was close to being a late hit there.
It was.
There is a flag that came in from the opposite side. Looks like they're waving the chains forward, so it will be an EAG forward first down.
Yeah, it was definitely a late hit, and the officials just decided not to call it in this kind of ball game, I guess. I don't know. Jacksonville coaches were not jumping up and down about it, but I mean, it was right in front of me. Didi was clearly. You saw Didi. He was purposely
going
out
of bounds.
Purposely going out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, no flag.
Okay, no flag on the play.
Yep.
So EAG forward first down for Didi. Gets the ball out to the Jacksonville 49. Dials going to fake the handoff to Didi, keep it himself. Not much there for Drew Dials. Big loss on the play.
Well, they're just teeing off on Drew Dials. They know that Jacksonville wants him to run the ball, and it's almost like tonight, you know, Didi was almost like the decoy, you know, and Drew was going to be the primary runner, and Mount Pleasant has just shut him down. He had some success in the first quarter, had the touchdown.
Didi's had success on this drive, though.
Yeah.
I almost think you just keep feeding him and see how close he can get to this 1,000 yards.
Yeah, just let him get closer so maybe he can get it next week.
Handoff does go to Didi this time.
Golly.
Kind of patient in the backfield this time is Didi, and there's not much room for him to run.
They missed a block. I mean, it's just the only reason a guy gets in the backfield like that quickly is somebody missed an assignment or they just whiffed on their block. Didi's going to have to check out because he lost his helmet.
So Zeke comes in with Didi going off. It's going to be 3rd and long for Jacksonville. Two receivers left, one right, empty backfield for Drew Dials. Dials looking to load up, throws off his back foot again, and this one is picked off by Jeremiah Johnson, and he will score.
Well, they're just sitting back there playing center field, and you throw a ball up for grabs like that, they're just going to go get it. Intended receiver was Zeke Whitaker, and he didn't have a chance because the free safety came over the top, jumped it way before Zeke had a chance to get it, and it was all she wrote. 2nd pick 6. I can't tell you that. I've never seen a year in my 43 years of doing the games where there's been this many pick 6s. I mean, yeah, interceptions, I get it, but return pick 6s
and scooping scores. We've had we've given up a lot of points to opposing defenses. Alberto Avila on to attempt the extra point, brought to you by our friends at Neighbors Coffee, and this one from Avila is up and good. So Mount Pleasant now takes a 41-8 lead over Jacksonville with 2:15 left to play in the 4th. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fighting Indian Football on JISD Live.
Dr. Darwin Dar and his staff at Dar Chiropractic specialize in family chiropractic care, exercise rehab, digital x-rays, nutrition and weight loss programs, decompression, and chiropractic wellness care. Located down the street from the Tomato Bowl, Dar Chiropractic. They can help you feel better.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Welcome back to the historic Tomato Bowl Mount Pleasant leads 41-8 with 2:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Alberto Avila has this one teed up for the Tigers. High ball going to be caught by Dante. I guess he signaled for a fair catch. So Jacksonville will take over 1st and 10 from their own 25.
So this is 41 unanswered points. I mean, it was 8-0. No, was it 8?
It was 8-0.
8-0, yeah. 27 in this second half. 2 pick sixes.
And I
Scoop
think
and score.
There's only been 2 offensive touchdowns from Mount Pleasant. Is
just
that
2,
right?
yeah, just 2.
Mm.
They got a 2-point conversion. That was 2 of their points. And 2 offensive touchdowns.
So Jacksonville takes over 1st and 10 from their own 25. Dede in the backfield with Dials. Dials trying to find some room up the middle. There's nothing there for Drew Dials. He's going to, looks like they're going to give him a couple. So a pretty good push there from the offensive line to give Drew some room to pick up a couple yards.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Going to 2 minutes here remaining. Well, if anybody ever says that turnovers aren't a big deal and they don't determine football, they don't know the game. I mean, it's been turnover city tonight for Jacksonville that's determined this game for Mount Pleasant.
Handoff goes to Dede Maras. Dede makes a couple guys miss. Going to pick up about 5.
Handoff goes number 2, Dede Maras. Picks up about 4 yards. Brings up 3rd down 3.
Should be 3rd and 2 by the time they spot this. Elijah Harris in at running back now, alongside Drew. Handoff goes to Harris. Nothing there. Going to lose a yard, maybe 2 on the play.
They go into 30 seconds here. They don't have to hurry to snap this one, or that might be it.
I don't think we have to snap it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
Coaches are going to bring them over and say that's it. Fans, stay with us. We'll announce our Austin Bank offensive and defensive players of the game, and also our Dar Chiropractic Bone Crusher hit of the game. As both teams retreat to their sidelines and line up and shake hands. It's pretty dominating second half by the Mount Pleasant Tigers. 27 unanswered points in the second half, but 41 unanswered points since Jacksonville went up 8-0 in that first quarter.
Yeah, tough night indeed. It was so promising at the beginning, too.
Felt so good. I mean, everything seemed to be clicking for Jacksonville offensively. They had some good momentum going. They had, their emotions were flowing right.
Yeah.
And man,
the pick six and the
pick
drop,
six and the
drop punt that was scooped up and taken back was really a difference maker.
Well, there's just there's a time when you're having a season like Jacksonville's having right now where it's like, okay, it happened. There you go. Here we go again. And that was what happened on the pick six and then the scoop and score right after that. It was just a here we go again type of thing, and they just couldn't recover from it. And then, obviously, Mount Pleasant, they smelled blood. And you could tell by their defense they smelled blood. They did not let Drew Dials go anywhere after that. Seemed like since he scored his touchdown, they just keyed on him. And obviously they didn't let Dede Maras get out of the box either. He was tied up all night long. He had some good runs on that last drive, but that was about it. The teams now shake hands, and coaches will be talking to them. Guys, let's go to our awards, and then we'll do some stats and talk to head coach Jason Holman. The bone crusher hit of the game, it's Jordan Dorsey on the safety. I mean, he's the one that laid the wood on the quarterback and got the 2 points, making the tackle. Jordan Dorsey gets the Dar Chiropractic Bone Crusher hit of the game. Offensive player of the game, that's tough to pick, but I got to go with Zeke Whitaker, guys, with the 2 big catches. I really don't know anybody else that had the kind of game that really changed things for Jacksonville positively on the offensive side of the ball. But those 2 catches that Zeke made really kept Jacksonville in the ball game. And so Zeke Whitaker is your Austin Bank offensive player of the game. Defensive player of the game, a guy that's been playing really well the last couple of weeks, Calvin Boyd, defensive tackle, goes both ways, plays offense, plays defense. Calvin Boyd had a heck of a game tonight despite the score. Jacksonville defensively in the first half especially. Calvin Boyd is your Austin Bank, defensive player of the game. Coach Holman now will assemble his team and talk to him. We'll get his thoughts. If Todd's got any stats that he wants to talk about, this would be the this would be the time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
I
take
would
a
like
look.
to have better stats to talk
definitely.
about.
Are you wanting to skip this part?
You know, it might not be a bad idea, but I'll do my part.
Yeah, we've got our post-game stats brought to you by our good friend Randy Gorham, CPA, who got to join us at halftime tonight. Let's take a look at the stats for Jacksonville.
Our Indians finished the game. Drew had passing tonight, 4 completions on 15 attempts for 89 yards and 4 interceptions. Receiving, Elijah Whitaker, 2 catches for 57. Dante Simmons, 1 catch for 35. And Dede had 1 catch for -3. Rushing, Drew Dials, 22 carries for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. Dede had 14 carries for 39 yards.
We got Coach Holman coming up here.
All right.
Okay. Coach, wow. I mean, such a promising first quarter, and then those. If anybody, I said this earlier, if anybody says turnovers don't make a difference, they do. Tough night offensively for Jacksonville.
Yeah, obviously not what we wanted, just completely self-destructed there, and very disappointing. But, that's got to find a way to overcome obstacles, and we didn't do that tonight.
Defensively, man, you couldn't ask more of your defense in the first half. They only had 1 offensive touchdown, but, you can only stay down, keep a team down so long when you give them opportunities. And, boy, the offense just really struggled tonight. And you give Mount Pleasant credit. They're fast. They're quick. That's the best one-win team I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and we had an injury that kind of hurt us in the matchup capacity with Brendan Richards going out. And, but that's all part of the game. Everybody practices, so those that are in the game got to play.
Coach, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Head Coach Jason Holman on the All Smiles post-game interview, guys. Toss it back to y'all.
All right, thank you, Matt. You want to take a look at some more stats here, or are we ready to close this one out tonight?
I covered all the positive stats, so anything else I've got left is negative, so I don't know any reason to share that information, but if we want to look, we finished with 171 total yards compared to Mount Pleasant's 194.
Yeah, and I really think if you take a look there at the third down efficiency, 6 out of 14's pretty good. It's less than 50%, but you look at it on the other side, and Mount Pleasant was 0 for 8 on third down.
And 0 for 2 on fourth down.
Yeah, so big time there for
the
Jacksonville defense. Well, no, and you look at it, Jacksonville's defense gave up 2 touchdowns tonight. The rest of it all came off of defensive scores. That was just kind of the story of tonight, and Jacksonville got out to an 8-0 lead early, and then it was kind of all downhill from there. So
they have 3 interceptions returned for touchdown.
I think it was just 2 pick sixes and a fumble recovery. Or there may have been a fourth one in there.
So 41. You're talking about 6 scores. Right.
Yeah, I think they only had, or unless they
four interceptions.
Maybe had the last one. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. There were too many pick sixes tonight either way, so I think that's probably a good place to end it for the post game statistics. So we got one more game here for the season. We head to Texarkana next week to take on the Texas High Tigers. On behalf of Todd Travis, Matt Montgomery, Lee Traylor, and the students of the JHS media team, I'm Ryan Travis. Thank you for joining us tonight for all the action from the historic Tomato Bowl. We'll see you next Friday as the Indians head to Texarkana for the season.